go, little guy.
So do we remember who was at the top of the marching order?
I believe it was me and Jason.
Okay.
I think
So
Jason,
here you are looking at this big gargoyle creature. What do you do?
He's breathing fire. Oh no.
He is.
Oh no.
It is. I mean, no guarantees it's a he, right? It is.
Fair. It's probably not even got a gender if it is a gargoyle, but
Adjacent.
A gargoyle adjacent.
gargoyle adjacent. Yeah. Okay. I suppose we better advance. So, great axe.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for it.
Guys, am I just magically with you, or what are we doing here?
I kind of figured that you would have arrived to the town, caught up with everybody. I don't mean them. I mean, asked the townsfolk what happened, and they would have pointed you towards the warehouse that your
Okay.
team is
So
currently.
you catch up to the back of the party just in time.
You'd find us easily.
Right.
Oh, good, you're back.
And you would kind of catch up to them after the first round of combat.
I
By
have
which point-
the bleary-eyed look of a zealous of a zealot fresh out of a hallucination.
So you're charging this thing with a great axe?
With a great axe, yeah.
Sure, yeah,
It's,
go for
it's
it.
in like a fear frenzy because he's just shot fire at me.
Right.
Because that's like the only way I can swing that while sticking to character. Okay, I think that's a +4 to hit. Oops, something went flying then.
Uh-oh.
+2. Yep. So that is 22 to hit.
Nice. Roll for damage.
I will in a second. And do I add strength and proficiency? I do, don't I?
Yes.
In which case, that's 7 damage.
Nice. So your axe swings low, and you cut at this thing's kneecap. A flap of leathery skin hangs off of it, and you're looking at bleached bone underneath it. And it stops breathing fire and switches from fire breathing to an angry howl.
Good.
Hassan, what are you doing?
Much
You're next
better.
up. What?
What is that?
Is that Jason speaking?
That is your son speaking.
I thought it
Hassan,
was...
something's wrong with your sound.
Yeah, you sound like a
Something is really wrong
hyperactive
with your
squirrel, and I'm sure you're not supposed to sound like that.
Robotic chipmunk, man.
Right. Has something very intense happened to your voice since last week?
Are you using a voice distorter and maybe you've changed the settings to something not so
Yeah, maybe you wanted to sound like a badass ranger, but instead you sound like Alvin.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to sound like Chuck Norris.
That's better.
Nice.
That's much better.
That was not Chuck Norris.
You are much closer with your actual voice.
Oh, thank you.
I think before you were closer to like Chip Norris.
So I saw this. I assume this means you're going to hit it with the swords.
Yeah, two swords.
I worked in a deli. I do point and pay just fine. Right? Like.
Okay. 6 and 15.
Nice.
So with one sword.
Right. Roll for damage for the one.
9.
Nice.
What gave you advantage on your attack?
No, he swung with 2 swords.
Right, he was swung with.
Oh, right. 2 swords.
Yeah,
Because he's a
Sorry,
fighter.
did you go
Plus 2
two-handed with that sword then?
What? No, I don't think so. He's got 2 swords, doesn't he?
Did you say I'm next, Jay?
No. I was gonna describe the attack, but yeah,
Hey.
let's say we can skip that and say you're next. You thrust your. Well, we shouldn't. That's not fair. You thrust
No, you
your
just
sword
do this-
forward. Stick it into its meaty upper thigh. Pull it out, and this black ichor leaks down its leg, and its wings flap. It is not impressed. Voss, what are you doing?
Draw my bow and take a shot at it.
Okay.
That's a 13 to hit,
Nice.
and that's 11 damage.
Nice. So arrow flies through, catches it in the chest. big meaty peck area. Same thing. Ichor sprouts from beneath the wound, and it howls in pain. Ikael, what are you doing?
I'm going to draw my dagger because I'm finally learning that I suck at bow. Okay. What are the?
Hey, Rory's here.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Ikael, what was the question? I'm sorry.
What modifiers do I get to use again?
You
I think it's
add
the
your
same ones.
strength and your proficiency if you have it. What are you again?
Okay. So 19 raw strength and proficiency would add 4, so 23.
To hit. Nice.
Nice.
Roll 4 damage.
Okay, I got a raw 6.
Okay.
And then you add your strength.
Right. You add your strength because it's a dagger.
Okay, so that's 8.
Right. So how tall are you? You're human. I mean.
I'm short.
Okay.
So like
Look.
4'11",
5 foot?
shorter than I am now.
Okay. So that's kind of how I pictured your character, actually. So you dart forward and you flit your dagger up and you stick at an angle and you're pretty sure you got where this thing's ribs are, right? And you hear a sickening as you pop through some bone. You thrust back out and that black stuff leaks all over the floor. Jit, it is your turn.
All right, I'm gonna cast Swarm.
Okay.
Nice.
And while he's doing that, I'm wiping off the blade and making
Ew.
yuck
All right, I'm
faces.
not warning anyone, but you see me sort of slicing my tongue open and getting some saliva.
Yeah, I see you get bloody. So.
Only in
we
tabletop
see the
games.
blood and we all sort of like, I want to sort of turn around and walk away a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm backing away as soon as I see him.
Only in table
Like-
systems where
Spitting
magic
my
can hear
blood
you.
at this foul beast, and
Okay.
I'm making an enchantment. And for once in my life, I rolled something that wasn't a 1.
Woohoo!
My bonus is 4, so 14.
Nice.
Does he get to make a save on that?
No. He's way too big to get away from you.
So I got to roll die 6 for how many rounds?
Yep.
3 rounds of 1 die 4 damage.
Wow.
And he's got all these various types of insects buzzing
Mhm.
around his head, and
Are they made out of blood or did it just come from blood? Is this some nasty miasma swarm?
let's just say their eyes are very big and bloodshot.
Ew.
It could be like mosquitoes made from
They
blood.
smell like rust. Beetles and
That's
wasps
terrifying.
and
Like,
maggots.
Smell like bad blood.
Yeah.
the mighty nameless one. What are you up to? You've just watched all that happen as you made it to the top of the stairs.
So what condition is this guy in at the moment?
The gargoyle creature looks
He's still
like it's
functional.
not. Yeah, it doesn't look
Oh, and sorry, I
particularly.
forgot to roll for damage.
Oh, good call. I forgot that.
Three.
Okay. That does change things, but not much. The gargoyle doesn't appear. The gargoyle creature, excuse me, the adjacent gargoyle, doesn't seem particularly distressed by the idea that this many people are pounding on it.
Okay. Well, I come charging forward with my newly reforged Tinker's Hammer
Okay.
and shout, "By the powers of order!" And I roll a 14 with my bonus. So,
Nice.
Are you including your proficiency?
Yeah.
You don't have an attribute bonus, Dad?
I have proficiency plus strength, and strength is plus 0. So,
Ooh.
and then I do a 1d10 damage.
Which is French damage, right? The bestest
Yes.
damage.
Oh, and I glance. My glancing blow barely hits him, and he takes a 1 point of damage.
Ooh. But I mean, you still hit him, right? You bring the hammer down on one of his toenails and you crack it off. And you were still very brave, right?
Sure. Thanks.
So, Rory, do you want to explain your character for a minute?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, but I made this guy named Artyom,
Okay.
or Artyom. He's a human rogue. He's kind of like a mercenary, like a sailor. He's been working on like a ship, picking up work whenever he can.
Right.
And yeah, that's all I have for him so far.
Sounds good. Are you okay with getting involved in this after this fight?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Can you do me a favor and send me in the chat your character's name spelled so I don't screw it all up when I put it in the video?
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks. So the creature rears back and flaps its wings. With enough force, you guys feel the air push you back. You all need to make a strength save, to not be blown back.
I thought I needed to make a style save as my luxurious hair is blowing.
Feel free to make a Fabio save in addition to your strength save.
All right, what do I got to do?
15. Wait. I might actually have proficiency on strength saves.
You might.
I do.
Ikael, you make
17.
You roll a d20 and add your strength modifier.
I got a 14.
Nice.
7.
Plus the modifier 21.
Nice. Did I hear a 7 in there?
That was the big owl bear. Looks like the only person in the party who failed the strength save.
Not fast enough.
Jasad, what did you get?
He's having a sugar low.
Okay. Right. So everybody else sticks the landing right, and Hermes flies down the first set of stairs as the creature blows you back with his wings and kicks off the ground and smashes to the wall outside, and now it's swooping around in a big circle. It hucks 2 fireballs out of its hands at who was in the front line? Jason? Ow.
Well, I'm in melee, obviously, so I don't know.
Right.
I don't feel that bad about being blown away now.
That's true, but you can't really help.
No.
There you are. Okay. So he hits the nameless zealot for 1 and Jason with the other for 6 damage each. As globes of fire about the size of a human head crash into your chests.
I take 1 or 6?
1. Excuse me.
Okay.
6. You both take 6.
Oh.
That's what I
Where did the
inferred.
1 come from?
1.
7.
Wait, when you said both, the 2 in melee.
Right. I rolled separate dice. You each end up taking 6 damage.
Ah. Okay.
And it is the zealot's turn since he rushed into melee and he's all brave and stuff.
Yeah.
The creature is swooping around the side of the building. You see it pass by every now and again like a vulture.
I guess that's the Moore's problem now.
Who do I recognize has the strongest attack? Who's the strongest?
You mean like numerically? I have no idea.
Who has the most damage output?
I feel like that might be me.
It might be you, but for sheer mechanics, I don't know. I don't have your character sheets. You'd have to ask around.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
roll a d12 and it's a +4 damage.
Okay. Well, I
do a d10
rise
plus
up
2.
and I say, "Mighty Hermes, be empowered by the Tinker," and I cast Providence, which is that a spell or a cantrip?
Providence, blah, 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 blah. Pulling up the book really fast, even though I hate doing it. Providence.
Where's my book?
Providence. Providence is a cantrip.
Okay, so I am automatically. I don't have to roll for
Right,
that.
you just do it. Right.
So boom. So you have a +1 to your attack.
Ooh.
Oh,
I said that in character, by the way.
how far away am I, Jay? How long is this
Somewhat.
hallway?
From the creature, so the whole space is only like 10 by 10. It's not a very big room. Now that the creature has stopped blocking your view, there's a couple of old crates and barrels and what looks like a rotting desk.
But most importantly, everybody's within 15 feet of me?
Yes.
Everybody is
Including me?
+1 AC.
Oh, that's
Oh,
fantastic. Oh, right, your phalanx ability, where you're like armor up.
13.
Do you have a catchphrase for that? Do you like turn it on like a Power Ranger, or is it just on all the time?
On all the time.
Okay.
I'm just like you. Dodge. Or go over there. Watch out behind you.
That's a fireball, right?
I have counter attack for ability. No.
Oh yeah.
I would argue that you
could-
can't because it flew away from you when it attacked you.
Mm-hmm.
But traditionally, yes, you would be able to do that.
Yeah.
Does that count for ranged spell attacks and whatnot, or is it just?
I don't see
melee?
why not. I mean, if it do you no, you have a bow. If you want to counterattack with him, if you want to swap and shoot at him, I don't see why not.
Yes. I
I mean,
want to.
Jason
Yeah,
does.
go for that. Sorry, in my head, I completely forgot that you have ranged options.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm glad we figured it out.
So by all
Okay.
means, shoot at him as he flies away from you.
So I'm standing on my feet, saying, "Damn, what a fool! I'm always rushing for fight, and I'm
You and the owl bear. It's not just you.
I think it's mainly me, if anything. I'm a bad
19,
influence.
Nice.
19, and it's a warbow, so it's 12. 11 plus 1.
Nice.
No,
11 plus 1?
yeah, or I should my dex modifier add to 19.
Wow.
To what number should I?
That should be
And
your
my
proficiency and your dex.
Yeah, proficiency and your
Dex
dex.
go to both.
Sorry. Yes, you add both.
You add it to both.
The proficiency plus dex. The warbow is a martial weapon, so it's a D10 plus for damage plus your wow. What was that? 13, 12?
12.
Wow. So this thing flies out, right? It punches its way through the wall and wood goes everywhere. And as it flies away, you plug it with an arrow in the neck, and you're sure you struck pay dirt this time. It howls in pain, and as it flies away, it spirals a little bit. Like, you ever see planes when they take damage in an action movie? Kind of like that. Hermes, it is your turn. Do you want to catch up to your friends? Do you want to run outside and scale the wall? Like, what's the plan?
That's probably my best bet, actually. I was about to ask you if it was near any building tops.
Oh yeah, it's staying about the height it was before.
Because I don't have the option of a ranged attack.
Not once you climb the wall outside, no. Whereas consequently,
No,
if you stay inside, that will be basically your only option to
I
attack.
don't have a ranged weapon.
Oh, another option? You could climb up to the 3rd floor and then jump off like a madman. I mean,
I'm totally okay with doing that.
We need to get you a warbow, Hermes.
I've got.
Can you
claws.
imagine that? An owl bear with its big ass claws.
I feel like a great axe is breaking the immersion a little bit as it is. Let alone a bow.
So what's the plan?
I think I'm gonna have to scale this wall and leap off the building and try and slash it with my axe. Hopefully, stick myself to it a bit.
Okay. With your boots, there's no roll to make it to the top of the building. Certainly not.
No, I figured that much.
The creature will probably ignore you as you climb to the top because you haven't actually hurt the thing all that much. So let's move your attack to the end of the round, and then you'll just jump off and make a attack to see if you hit it on the way down.
Nice. Okay.
Jit, what are you doing?
Well, I'll roll for the swarm damage before I.
Oh, I forgot to double that because you have doubled magic power. Did you remember to double that?
No.
There we go.
The ring.
Yes.
Right. So the first time was 6 damage. Then
Yeah, got it.
you just took 4 more, and I guess I'll just fire an arrow at him,
Sure.
and that's 16 on the dice.
Nice.
And my hunting bow, what damage does that do? Is that 1/8?
Hunting bow is I think it's a D8 because it's a
1/8
regular
plus
weapon.
2.
Yeah.
6 damage.
Not bad. So as it flies by, I mean, it's impossible to miss. It's surrounded by blood pulsing insects, a cloud of them. It's like a flare of death and hate as you fire an arrow into it. You clip a wing, one of those little the thorns on top come off. Jason went, Jit, you went. Ikale, what are you doing?
I kind of want to jump on Hermes' back and go with him.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's safe.
So Hermes, you watch him like up the side of the building, right? Like a really happy dog up the side of the building. Through the hole, the creature burst. All right. So let me get this straight. You want to hurl yourself out of the window and grab onto him on the way up.
Yes.
Okay.
So that I can stab while he.
Yeah. Let's just call that a strength or a dex roll, whichever one you like better. Just don't screw up, because that'll hurt.
Strength.
Yeah, you're 4.
I have terrible decks.
Okay, strength
So-
it is.
So
That is a
D20?
cool background there, Nameless Zealot.
20.
Yes,
Is
roll
that
a
the guy?
d20, right. Conan,
I got a
the
10.
mightiest warrior ever.
I got a 10. What do I mods do I add to it?
So that was a raw d10. That was a raw 10. You add your strength modifier.
Okay, then it's 12.
Oh, excellent. Then you're good. And you just barely pass as you hurl yourself out the window like a crazy person from an action movie. You latch onto his fur at the last second and scramble your way up, and you put your arms around him, like around his neck, right? And I don't know how Hermes feels about that, but
I mean, I suppose if Hermes doesn't have to roll the strength to get up this building, he doesn't particularly care.
the building will hold the two of you up. Why not? Voss, what are you doing?
Oh, it's back to me again? I thought I went after...
Yes, you did. I'm sorry. I think that's everybody. Did I miss
Did I
anything?
go?
Say again?
Did I go?
That's who I forgot. I forgot you. By all means, do something. My apologies.
So I take my Tinker's Hammer again and swing at him mightily, and I get a 14.
Nice. So as one of his roots on the way by, you plug him with the hammer. Roll for damage.
And it's a D10. I don't have any of my dice in front of me. So here we go. 3. Man.
3.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well,
Okay. So you plug him in one of the wings, right? And you leave a big, sizable dent in the leathery part of the wing, but you're not sure you actually hurt him with it. But he does roar back for a second, and he hovers in the air, and he does this with his wings, and those barbs fly out. They fill the space. So everybody except Hermes and Ikale should make a dex save.
Come on.
Oh, thank goodness I don't have to make one of those.
oh,
We're
1.
climbing for the win.
1?
I have
Is that what I heard?
I got 20.
You got a nat 20?
No, 18
Okay.
plus 2.
I got a -1. I rolled a 1, and so I got a 0.
Ooh, that's pretty bad. Ow. So everyone let's see, you're the only one who didn't pass, right? Just on. What did
Well,
you get?
actually, 18 plus 4, but I'm sure that still passes.
Definitely. Just on. What did you get? Excellent. Hermes, what? Oh, that's right. You don't roll.
You said I don't have to?
Right. So those of you who failed, which I guess is just the Nameless Zealot, take 7 damage as tines shoot out of this thing's wings. The thorn comes off and then explodes into like a pricker bush of death.
Now,
it punctures into you.
just a question. You gave me an ability in our first session called Skirmish.
Yep. That
Where I
is
can
that is a boom card. You use it once and then it's gone.
Oh, gone forever.
Gone forever, right.
Okay.
As thorns perforate the space, the barrels splinter, the desk gets driven into little tiny bits. Hermes, it is your turn, and Ikale's, I guess.
So what, we're going to take our turn at the same time midair, I suppose?
That's the idea. I mean, if you're going to
Okay.
jump off, she doesn't really have a choice.
No, I guess not. Okay then. Right, so I suppose from the side of the building before I reach the top, I don't know, where is this gargoyle thing in relation to me? Have I got my back to him?
Right. So if you hurl yourself off the building right now, so I don't know if you want to get on top of it or like cling to the side of it like Spider-Man.
I was kind of thinking of like pushing myself off. Well, no, actually, I'll get on top.
Okay. Then you
Hermes, if you guys can somehow incapacitate, and I think that the DM could make a judgment, if you could somehow incapacitate him I can
I know. You
instantly
can
kill him.
vanquish him. Yes, I know.
So
Be
if we
damned.
got creative with like if we could pin him down or do something that
I'm
Jay
also
would
going to
consider
try and do this at the same
incapacitated,
time.
I would just kill him.
So what's the? That's a great
So-
idea, Hermes. What's the plan here?
So what I want to do is I want to get to the top of the building. I
Mhm.
want to find my footing, and I want to launch myself at this thing, and sort of swing my axe over the top of my head and bring it down onto him. Hopefully, use it as a hook to attach myself to his body at the same time.
Nice.
So I guess that's a roll. to
Kale,
hit.
what's the plan? Once he gets to the top of the building, are you staying up there like with him? Do you getting off? Are you
I think
riding the
I'll go
owlbear on
with
the way
him,
down?
but jump off as he get closer, so I don't get hit in the head with the axe, so I could dig in with my dagger.
Okay, sure.
Nice.
He is much bigger than you, so the creature will go out of its way to try and avoid him. It doesn't seem particularly bright. It seems like a fairly mindless thing. It probably won't even see you while it's paying attention to the owlbear. So make your roll at advantage.
Well, my roll was a 15.
Nice.
I get
So at
plus
advantage
4
is roll two?
usually.
At +3. What was that, Hermes?
Added.
I get plus 4 normally, but the Tinker gave me a +1. Is that for my hit die or my damage die?
That is to hit die, I think, but let me check.
And I don't know if that's still last. It would have been on his last attack, I think.
Has he made an attack since you did that to
This
it?
is-
Oh no.
No, this is the first attack since then.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Do your next check. Yeah, to hit number.
Right.
So you
okay,
definitely
that was a
drive your
soft
axe
20.
into him. Roll for damage, and I'll go back to you in a second. Kale, what was that? You add +3.
So
You can
if
handle
ro-
advantage. Go ahead.
How do I do advantage?
You can do advantage one of two
Roll
ways.
twice, take the
Right.
biggest
You can
number.
roll 2d20s and take the good one, or you can roll 1d20 and add +3 to it, because mathematically that's kind of the same thing.
Okay.
Well, if it helps, I rolled a 12 on my dice,
Okay.
and it's +4, so that would make it a 16 damage.
Nice. Before I tell you what happened, Kale, what did you get?
I rolled 2 die. I got a 3 and a 6.
Ooh.
Oof.
Ooh. Never
Okay,
mind.
so what modifiers do I add?
You add with a with a flying dagger attack. Since you probably don't want to use dex, add your strength modifier
Okay,
and your
that's
proficiency because you're proficient with a dagger, aren't you?
So then I have a 10.
Nice. The stock DC for 5 torches deep is 12. So
Is it 11?
Was
I thought it
it-
was 11, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
11. Sorry, ICRPG is 12. So Hermes flies through the air and shoves his axe into this thing's neck. It spirals out of control, right? And he grounds it in it as it flies down. It reaches out its talons and shoves it in the side of the hole that it made and pries itself up, desperate to not hit the ground. And its eyes get as big as dinner plates because now it's standing in front of all of you, with the laying in front of all of you with an owlbear stuck to it, with the exception of Kale, who flies through the air 2 stories to the ground and slams into the ground,
Ouch.
Voluntarily.
who takes 8 damage in the process.
8. Only 8?
Only 8. I did a d6 per, floor. As you slam into the ground, you have an awful lot of dirt in your face, but yeah, you're surprisingly put together for somebody who fell that far.
All right.
Then
so
again,
if
I mean,
had
you are a
16
hero,
and
right?
I took 8. I have 8 left.
If you had 16, you take 8. Yes, you have 8 left.
Did she add,
5.
now, where she took falling damage for falling,
Mm-hmm.
did it take falling damage because she fell into it with all that force?
No,
Yeah,
because you
why
didn't
can't I
have
fall
running.
into it?
You didn't fall into it at all. You missed the save. You flew right past this thing on the way down, like a bad elevator gag.
You had a rocky surface to start with, not a rocky surface. You had a
Yeah, you were riding on the
unstable,
back of an
feathery
owlbear.
surface. Yeah, I feel like you can be forgiven for missing that.
So the creature
It was so
it has dented wings and chipped horns, and it lands in its own tines, and you're pretty sure it's bleeding from the effort. Zealot, you go first.
Is it incapacitated?
For the next couple of rounds, you bet.
I take my hammer and I firmly grip it and I say, by the power of Grayskull. I take the sharp end of the hammer and I slam it down into the ground, and I say, "Damn you, dirty gargoyle!" And I roll a 14, 11 with the bonus,
Nice.
and he is condemned
For all eternity.
to chaos.
only
Just
watch.
remembered something. I didn't use my +1, or that I should have used the +1 from the zealot on that last one.
You should
Did
have.
you get
Yes.
a +1 from me?
So then I
don't
would have
think
gotten
you did.
11.
I don't think you got a +1 for me. It was just for Hermes.
No,
Right, that wasn't
That's
a
okay,
like
was this Hermes out
crowdfunding
for
thing.
everyone?
No,
Sorry,
just him.
Samantha.
Darn.
I had no +1s for you.
So sad.
The
And
gargoyle
what's
adjacent
the
creature.
+1 AC thing that Voss did? What does that do?
That was
But-
for everybody.
It's a passive benefit,
That's if
which
you
you
get
don't
hit.
currently benefit from because you're too far away. As
Yeah.
long as you're within 15 feet of Voss, your armor class goes up by 1 point.
Okay.
Because
I wasn't
he's
sure how that worked.
naturally strategic. I don't know.
Right, because I'm constantly shouting out, "Look up behind you!"
Right? Guy with an axe. I don't want you to be alarmed or anything, but that guy's
Not left!
fucking fireball.
And if he
Bottom
doesn't
right.
cast the spell, he ends up just saying it way too late.
Like, have you guys seen Shaun of the Dead?
No.
I
Okay.
have, but I don't remember it all that well. You might be able to jog my memory.
The scene where they're like trying to keep the zombies from getting out of the bar, and they're coming in through the window, and he keeps directing them where the zombies are coming in, and then he hits them in that spot.
I know.
I kind of imagine that as you
I picture I'm doing that, but dodging instead of shooting.
I kind of imagine you flew by. Boss went, no, wait. Oh. So as you pick yourself up off the floor, Artian wanders by you. You want to role play that out there, Rory? Artian?
Wait, I'm sorry. I just got back from the bathroom. What's happening?
So Kale, you're a druid, right?
Yes.
So a woman who looks like she's been around a lot of plants, take that however you want to take it, slams into the ground 15 feet in front of you from above you, like from the top of a building that now has a big hole in it. You hear the sounds of battle from up there, and she just face planted into the ground.
Where am I exactly?
You're in a city in the desert. There's thousands of people running around, tons of brightly lit spots and fabrics and smells. It's a desert city. I was kind of picturing
Hey guys, out here.
Agrabah with less round things in it.
Okay. I take a second look. I stay cautious. I'm blown away by some random
would
girl
be.
falling.
A lady literally fell from the sky. I would be a bit nervous too.
Is somehow alive after falling 3 stories.
Two. You fell 2. Oh, that's right. You fell 3. I forgot to roll the 3rd die.
Is it all wooden? Like a
Gee,
like
thanks.
a tavern, wooden building kind of thing, or
Say that again.
is it out of like a wooden building?
Yes, the building is mostly wooden. There are bits of little wooden scraps around her where she fell because you can look up and see a hole, right? The kind of thing left over after Rambo gets done with it. There's just a big blown out section of wooden remnants.
Can I see anything through the hole?
You can see a couple of people standing over what appears to be a very dead gargoyle adjacent creature. Big gray wings, leathery flesh.
Where does the gargoyle thing land? I was assuming it landed in the street because it was just flying
It
outside.
collapsed. It tried to claw its way back into the hole it made and realized that perhaps was a bad idea because then it was surrounded by angry adventurers.
Okay. So it's inside. Got it.
So the Tinker's condemned. Does that mean that the body remains where it is and it just like dies?
I figured it just kind of took the soul to a place where you only ever watch Brady Bunch reruns, but the body's fine.
Where Baby Shark plays on repeat
Oh,
all the time.
God. Just loud enough that you can't not hear it but you can't like do that thing where you disassociate and drown it out either.
Guantanamo.
Oh God.
But
I mean,
start to
it didn't die.
Oh.
He condemned it. It went to whatever its version of hell is.
Yeah.
But yeah, the body's fine.
Okay,
So
so while Artian is looking at the hole in the wall, I start to groan and turn over.
Okay.
I guess I ask, what happened? I'm just wandering through the town.
We're fighting that monster up there. And
No
I
biggie.
jumped well. Who are you?
I am Artian. I'm not sure how I've gotten here in the first place. Maybe I've been drinking, looking for work, and you guys seem like a whole lot of fun.
Do you enjoy adventure?
I do.
Well, maybe you should come and join us. My name's Ikael.
Nice to meet you. If there's money involved and adventure to be found, I'd be glad to
There
join.
is indeed a lot of both.
Except if you stick with us.
Yeah.
Didn't you lose like 20
Pain
gold
and
in a
misery.
heartbeat last
I
week?
lost money. This
Yeah. I hasten to add, only one of us was involved with that.
So, while you two have a conversation, various townsfolk have gathered around the base of the building and are kind of doing this up with a big hole in it. Right? They can't help themselves. It's kind of like rubbernecking, except it's a dead thing. Right. So here, the two of you that aren't on the ground, right, are staring over this dead thing. What are you guys doing?
At this point, Hermes like grabs his axe, sticks a foot in the gargoyle's face, yanks his axe out, and goes, "Hoo!"
Party!
I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to open my mouth and let all my insect friends come back into me.
Oh, that's so
And
gross.
I'm going to get out a little silver vial, and I'm going to collect some of the gargoyle's blood.
Ugh. So
Jay, you really need to make Jet roll on the major corruption table in the DCC book.
Yeah,
You
I want to start seeing.
right?
I want to start seeing his eyes go bloodshot and
Ugh.
like, weird parts of his fingers start
Nasty.
turning into things.
Next thing you know, his fingernails are gonna be mosquitoes that are like attached to his finger. Ah, like, you're creepy as hell. You know that.
I'd be right back.
Sure. Oh, that's nasty.
Is there,
So you open
is
your
there-
mouth and the bugs like a creepy ass horror movie.
I think they did that in Bruce Almighty.
Yes, I think they did. And you
What?
scoop up some of the black blood stuff. It doesn't seem to be particularly acidic or anything. It didn't burn through anything. It's a little bit like tar that's been thinned out.
Does it have any particular smell to it?
It smells, you know that icky, nasty, sweet smell that organic decay gives off? It smells like that, plus a little bit of death.
Okay, I'm going to dip my pinky in it and have a little taste.
You're so gross. You're wicked gross.
Hermes
So-
is just looking at him like, and he's muttering, "Why?"
Make an
Why?
intelligence save.
All right.
Excuse me, wisdom save.
Wisdom or intelligence?
Yeah, wisdom save.
I think that's a 16 on the die. 16.
Nice.
I don't
So-
have a modifier for wisdom.
As you
You
Oh,
don't get
no, it's
gargoyle
14.
diseases.
I got a -2 on wisdom.
either way, standard, thing is 11. So you get a little dip of that on your tongue, right? And this twitchy convulsion, when you're really, really panicking and your stomach feels like it's flipping upside down in your gut, that happens only to every organ in your body. You go through this internal convulsion bit, and you come out of it okay. But your skin is a little paler than it's supposed to be.
All
And
right.
you're
Well, that's
relatively sure that's permanent.
I'll make sure the vial's filled up, and I'll put it away in my my sack.
Nasty.
Can we?
That like large marble thing.
Yeah, be careful around that marble thing you've got.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I didn't want to ride any horsamanders.
I love now that they're horsamanders. Like, I forgot what I was originally calling them. Horsamanders way better.
Is there any point in trying to loot this thing?
I mean, you could. What are you looking for? It doesn't have any clothes on per se.
I mean,
But you ever play The Witcher?
I like not a lot. I sort of picked it up, started playing other games, and I haven't picked it up again yet. But I really should. I enjoyed it. Anyway,
Such a good game.
So could I inspect it? Sort of like, I mean, it could be an overgrown homunculus kind of thing.
Wait, you want to
I
make
don't know,
it?
it's a
You want to like
gargoyle
look it over
adjacent.
and see what it is?
See what it is, where it came from, why on earth it's in here.
Sure, yeah.
Except for maybe
I think the
chasing
rat
down
set us
Jit's
up.
ring.
Yeah, feel free to poke at it. How exactly? I mean, you've been around a bit since you're a traveling pack mule, and I mean that in the nicest, most racially agreeing way possible.
My master didn't see it in a very, very nice way.
But on what grounds would you know where this thing came from? How on earth would you deduce that?
I mean, I'd probably be able to tell if it was natural or not, because
That's
I come
fair.
from a forest, and I used to deal with a lot of mages as a slave courier.
Yeah, that's a good
So-
point. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if I recognize a symbol or something that's maybe, on the back of his head or something, who knows?
How involved do you want to get? Do you want to like flip it over and like touch it and poke at it and grope at it, or just kind of look at it?
Basically, I want to do, the first thing.
Okay, so you kind of grab this thing with your claws and flip it over and put your little claws in between its teeth and lift the lip like an animal at the vet, right? And you scoop this thing over, and you find that on the inside of its mouth, pressed into one of its cheeks, is this rune-looking mark, 2 dots over a straight line. And you're pretty sure you've seen that before, but you can't remember where. The creature is definitely made. It's not the kind of thing that like appears in nature. Something made it.
I'm gonna. Is Nathan back yet?
He is.
I'm gonna beckon the nameless tinker over. Funny man. Shapes.
I love that you're the funny man and not like Iron Man. You do a lot with a hammer. You know what I mean?
It's more to do with his preaching.
I was muted.
Like it's. Yeah.
I say, yes, my son. Though you are a natural abomination, I will minister to you.
Yeah, you ain't right, but I'm still here for you.
What can I do for you, Hermes?
Just.
So you call. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I try and like cut it away with a claw or something and like start going around town? Like, have you seen this symbol?
I mean, yes, but if you do that, Jit won't be the only creepy dude at the table.
I feel like
think about that. You're talking about holding up the inside of a thing's mouth flap.
Yeah, you get
feel like-
me for being.
I mean it in the most. I suppose, Jit's probably worth asking to.
Like
it
you,
was-
creepy man, handle this.
Yeah.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah, I suppose. Magic people.
So
Anyone.
you reach in there with a claw and you just kind of scrape the inside layer of skin out and come up with this, what looks like a fruit roll up of the inside of a gargoyle adjacent's mouth.
I take a sniff at it.
Oh, it smells terrible. I don't even have a word for how terrible it smells.
I recommend you don't eat it.
Don't put that in the mouth hole. I mean, I haven't before, right? But
I was about this far in before you said that.
That's terrible. Oh.
Does the gargoyle have any jewelry on?
No. It has no adornments or clothing of any kind.
Bedazzling of any sort.
No. Once Hermes starts to dig at it, it starts to dissolve. And I mean like a ball of mud when it's hit with the rain. It just kind of It's there, and then it's not. It gets,
Oh, gross.
What about the flap of mouth skin in my hands?
you still have that. What
Nice.
you've got left over where there was a carcass less than 10 seconds ago is a small straw doll wrapped with rope.
Oh, like a mommet.
Sounds exactly like a homunculus.
What a fun word. Can we just take a second to appreciate how much fun it is to say the word homunculus?
I'm only saying it so much because I took an artificer in one of my as a character in Joe's campaign.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I took it up to level 2, and I like saw all the level up options. It's a 6th level thing, but I have the option of creating a homunculus servant.
Nice.
You
And,
know,
like
have you ever heard of like the mythos behind a homunculus? It's like the semen that drips from a hanged man's wiener.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
What?
Really nasty.
Yeah.
Really?
It
Yeah.
doesn't say that in the monster manual, but I think
No, I'm
there's
sure it
something
doesn't.
like that.
That goes back to, but that's the actual like, is
Yeah.
a man
I
is
think-
hanged and then he spontaneously
Oh.
does his thing.
Oh. It does his thing.
Lands,
Is that what we're calling
lands
it?
in the
Oh.
ground and births a homunculus.
Oh.
There's a guy on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's fake, but he creates a homunculus by injecting semen into an infertile chicken egg, and I'm almost positive it's fake.
Why?
But it grows and
I don't want to know.
That's a very dedicated film project, is what that is.
Yeah, right.
Disgusting special effects.
That's
yeah,
terrible.
basically.
So you guys are left with what looks like a little straw effigy of a person. RG and IKL are downstairs. Have you guys decided to come back upstairs, or you're just talking to yourselves, amongst yourselves?
I finally get up and dust myself off, and they follow me.
Okay.
Or
We head
upstairs.
I
upstairs.
wanted to examine this poppet or mommet or whatever it is.
Sure. Yeah.
This simulacrum.
Ooh, that's a great word. I think we should talk about multiple platypus more often, so we can use the word platypoda more often. Just gonna put that
Yes,
out
I
there.
saw this on Facebook.
Excuse me?
The plural of platypus is platypoda, or platypodes if that's your thing.
So do I see anything? I start to sort of disassemble this mommet.
Right. So what you're looking at is a little. It's about the size of a children's doll, if a little tiny bit smaller, and it's just a little cloth number wrapped. It's a bunch of straw assembled to look like 2 arms and 2 legs, like a little person, with cloth and string, and you start disassembling it and tearing it apart, and it all looks like pretty mundane, except for inside there's a little lump of what you're pretty sure is lead with a rune stamped on it.
Ah, do I recognize the rune?
Yes, it looks like the same one that's on the skin flap that Hermes is holding on to.
Interesting. Can you
Nasty.
draw it for us?
No,
It
I was
looks-
going to ask one of you to
boo.
do that.
I can do that because it sounds like it looks like an emoji.
So a straight line
That, yeah.
like that, but 3 dots.
Oh.
Like that, but 3 dots.
It's an emoji of the little creatures in the Toy Story claw thing.
The LGMs, yeah, the little green men. Yeah. The claw.
You are chosen.
I'm just now watching the Buzz Lightyear cartoon. Those guys are great.
I watched that as a kid.
Oh man.
Good.
Also, Patrick Warburton is amazing.
So I go over to Hermes and we compare notes with my little piece of lead and his piece of flesh.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I don't know that we learn anything, but we know that we're looking for.
We know we're looking at the same thing.
Does Jit know anything about this kind of runic? It's obviously right up the alley of. Jit.
I feel like Jit's got a wee one.
He's got a wee one. A wee bear.
Yeah, they're fighting.
Oh.
Who's that? Who's that, Hunter? Who's that there at the bottom?
Hunter, did you win?
No, he's on the losing end.
Oh, poor
Oh.
guy. Better luck next time. So, the nameless
Yeah,
zealot
you're not
and
going anywhere.
Yeah, I want to show it to Jet and see if he knows anything because this definitely looks like something up the Chaos Mage's alley.
I stop the tinker real quick and I like push the fleshy, smelly symbol in Jit's face, and like as close, way too close.
I start to dry heave.
No,
Like,
Jit's face.
the
Jit's
fleshy,
face.
pulpy bit, like. So Jit, Hermes has just taken the cheek flap, this nasty, smelly, flesh, pulpy thing, and waved it under your nose, uncomfortably close.
Can I do an intelligence check?
Sure.
You might need to make a constitution check too.
16.
Nice. So you look this thing over. You're pretty sure it is a remnant of a. I wasn't going to use the word homunculus, but sure, let's go with that.
Maybe golem.
It's a projection. Somebody took that little doll and used magic on the lump of lead inside and turned it into a much larger thing. The only reason Hermes has this flap left over is because he managed to remove a portion of the creature before it dissolved. All the tines it threw, you guys, are still in the room too. They're still stuck in the desks and whatnot.
Oh.
You're pretty sure that you've seen this symbol before. Scar has a list of mages that are not to be trusted, kind of like a most wanted list. And this symbol belongs to the mage about halfway up the list.
What's his name?
He doesn't have one. Or, I mean, I'm sure he does, but Scar doesn't know what it is. All they have is just that symbol that's left in everything he's
Little
done.
signature.
His list of atrocities is long. He's turned people into other people. Like, he's turned people into, like, children. He's turned animals into monsters. He does a lot of transmutation, most of which is terrible.
Not a very nice guy.
Not so much.
Do you mind if I keep this, Hermes?
You creep. I mean, I get it. You're a mage, and it's evidence, but given your previous... you're
Bearing
gross.
in mind, there is also a lead slab with this very symbol on it as a good alternative.
Right, notice how he didn't want that. He wanted the fleshy one.
He wanted the smelly flesh, yeah.
Well, this is the one that's in my face. I don't know. Is the Tinker holding on to the other one?
I was under the impression that he had held that one up too, and Hermes just kind of went me first and put his flapping skin away.
Right.
Yeah,
You probably missed that.
Too much anticipation is what it was.
Well, I'll take any or both.
What are these spines like that are embedded in the desks and things?
So they're about 1.5 inches long, and they taper down.
That's okay. I had an idea, but it's not going to work if they're only 1.5 inches long.
Okay.
I was gonna maybe take them to a blacksmith and get like claw extenders to.
I mean, you need lots of them.
Yeah, I know.
Nameless priest, did you gonna give Jit your creepy lead marble?
Yeah, I thought I asked to show it to him. Yeah.
He did. You did. We got back to that because he wasn't in the room at the time. So you take both of them, the creepy, fleshy, inside gargoyle adjacent cheeky thing, and the lead marble.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the sake of science.
Okay.
It doesn't discard the flesh though.
Science. Come on.
Right. Magical science. Right.
You're arcane.
Humor me. Do you put the lead marble in the same bag as your other maybe it explodes marble?
Oh, no. That marble is very, it's got a place on its own.
Okay. He's got a special pocket just for it.
Yes.
So you guys hear the people outside. There's no cheering per se, but there's a lot of murmuring and confusion. And
we have to stick to our task. We came here to get the dwarf.
This is very true.
I think the dwarf is behind this gargoyle.
I mean, maybe.
I was wondering if it was going to be one of these battle angels that wanted your ring.
It's got big leathery wings and it breathes fire, and it's
No, I meant
battle
Wait,
angel.
was there?
Might
Did
have
something
been
come for the
behind it.
ring?
Not yet. No.
Yeah.
Hey, are RT and I caught up with you guys yet?
I kind of figured you'd gone back up the stairs afterwards and
We
reunited
did, but I
with the
wasn't sure
team.
if
Yeah.
he arrived at the point that makes the comment that he wonders if the dwarf is behind this.
Oh, definitely. You definitely arrived by that period of time. Whether or not he did it or not, I didn't mean to say he's definitely behind it. I meant you're definitely there to hear that.
Okay.
So amongst the time encrusted remnants of what was up here before, it's now, I mean, it was a storage room, not so much anymore. One, there's a big hole in the wall. Two, everything is ruined. There is a staircase that'll take you up one more floor, made out of what looks like old, half rusted but still intact iron stairs.
Let's go.
As the big owl bear, you said that they're half rusted but just still intact. I'm going to take the wall alongside the stairs instead.
It's like, you know what? The wall will probably hold me up better, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you chomp your way up the side of the wall, right? Who's in front of the marching order on the stairs? Which is to say,
I guess
I'm
I'll
cool
go
being in
first
front
since I called it.
or not.
okay. So let's say Jit, Jason, and the priest are in the front.
Yeah, I'm definitely somewhere at the front,
Okay.
close-ish.
So the stairs are pretty wide. All three of you could stay, you know, in the front, as it were, in the same row. And you march away up to the side of the stairs. As you get to the top of the stairs, there is a large metal door, probably 8 feet by 3, give or take, with one of those big, heavy slots in it. The kind of like what's the password slots, but it's missing. So you just have the space, and you can see inside. And there's a stubby little dwarf. He's shorter than normal. He's in what looks like this big overgrown harness. He's got like glass balls stuck to the back of the harness that crackle with energy, and he's zipping around what looks like an overgrown lab. There are beakers in there, and others, calcinators and that kind of thing, but they're big. They're like the size of men. And he's just zipping around the place doing something. You're pretty sure he doesn't know you're there.
Oh.
Idea.
What do you want to do? Actually, I guess Jit, Zealot, and Jason, you guys should decide what you want to do as a team. Since if you want to move as kind of one swift, you can. You all have equal agency at this moment.
I think I'm going to be staying back since I don't really know you guys all that well from a role-playing standpoint.
Sounds logical.
But I got
Ask what you guys see.
But,
We must destroy him.
Before they make their minds up, I want to pull my tapestry out of my inventory and like that's the one with the weird eye, and I want to point at it. And like,
Have you got a tapestry?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're an owl bear, so it's more like ooh, 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 right. We must have some sort of wounded owl or something out here, because there's a creature that sounds an awful lot like an owl that's been hooting literally all day. Like it only takes a break every 20 minutes or so. It's been driving me nuts all day. Anyway, it's Hermes. He's come to life and he's haunting me. So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna cast a sleep spell on him.
Sure, yeah. That's an actual spell, isn't it? Not a cantrip?
That's an actual spell.
Before he casts that, assuming we've been like talking, can
Right,
I give him my providence?
Okay.
Oh,
You sneak him a little bonus magic?
Get a little +1 on the magic.
Okay, thanks, sir. And
I assume you're trying to reach through the slot with your magic and like put the dwarf to sleep.
what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bite this finger. No, I'll just slice it open. And I'm
Because
gonna
that's
let
better.
a little blood trickle out onto the slot,
Okay.
and I'm gonna speak my incantation to the blood and have it kind of go on in there and seek them out.
Ugh. Yeah, all right. Roll.
it's like the Treehouse of Horrors.
Yeah.
Where Mo gets stabbed and it spells
Nice.
out whatever he wants.
So
I'm rolling much better today with the magic.
Good.
good
Last
call.
2 sessions just
Well, you had a
failed.
+1 as well, right?
Yeah, right. Right. The power of the tinker, right? So you whisper to the blood, who's a good blood? Who's a good blood? Right? And the blood kind of grows little legs and seeps down the side of the door, trickles across the floor, and then in one big, like, muck monster moment, leaps off the floor and slams onto his head. And he's just, and he slams onto the floor. And just Zealot and Jason, what are you guys doing? You saw that through the
Shall
slide.
I condemn him to death?
He really wants to. You know he does.
I want to, but I think we need to question this guy before I send him to the afterlife.
I mean, you could.
What do you guys think?
We can tie him.
We need answers.
Do
We
we have a
followed
rope?
this guy
Yeah.
across like 3,
I feel
I don't
like,
know if I would
yeah,
call them dimensions, but you know, the overworld and the
regions.
the metal city, and then now the
3 zones, maybe?
Right, yeah. Jason, what was that? You said something. I'm sorry.
Do we have a rope? We can tie him.
We do have a rope
We
somewhere.
tie him up, we beat him up, then we condemn him.
But first, take
And
that
these are the
harness
heroes,
off him.
you know.
No one said we're the heroes.
That's true. That's true.
Don't get
And
it
I
mixed
certainly
up.
wouldn't at this point. That's very true.
I'm holding out for a hero.
Until the end of the night?
He's got to be, you know.
Oh no.
Oh,
And,
man.
how do I say your name there, Rory? Artian?
Yeah.
So I guess at this point I realize, oh, we got a new visitor, a friend with us.
You just noticed because you've been too busy talking to your blood.
Right. So I look at Artian and I say, do you know how to pick locks?
You are the creepiest mage I've
test
ever
for
had the
traps?
pleasure to play with. You know that, right?
What?
You are the creepiest mage I've ever had the pleasure to play with. You know that, right?
Hey, you said be creative with magic.
That I did. I meant it.
I've never played a mage before. This is a first for me.
This is great. Don't get me wrong. This is great. You're foul, but it's great.
So Artian, can you check for traps? Pick locks?
Yeah, I can.
You look like a pirate.
You know,
Can
you
you,
get things
check,
off the internet without paying for them, that kind of pirate.
can you check this door here? I don't trust the little guy in there.
Yeah, so would I check for traps or would I have to do a stealth roll?
You
What did you choose for
you're a rogue. What specialization did you choose?
I picked rogue and I have the advantage to traps.
Okay. In this case, that door is pretty thin and pretty old. You're pretty sure it's not trapped. A roll won't be necessary, but the lock is pretty intense. So to pick the
right.
lock, that totally.
Okay, so could I attempt to pick it?
Please go ahead.
Roll 13, and would I use my dexterity modifier
You would.
plus my proficiency, which
Yeah.
will make it 18?
Nice. So you pull your picks out from your sleeve. They just kind of roll out. You don't really have a kit for them, and they roll out of the sleeves, and you like into your hands, all smooth, like. And you just tinker with the lock for a couple of seconds. You whip the lock picks back up into your sleeves into little folds. Only you really know how they work. And the
Oh, that's
door,
pretty slick.
and the lock just falls off. You catch it so it doesn't make noise because you're better than that. You throw it wherever you feel like throwing it, backpack, floor, whatever. And the door is open.
Voila.
I'm in. Looking for magic, checking out those electric balls and all that.
Am I getting
Okay.
paid for this?
Say again?
Am I gonna get paid for this?
A thief after my own heart, right? I'm doing it, but you're gonna pay me for it. It's not, am I getting paid for this? I am getting paid for this. It's just a question of how much. So you open the door. There's a like he's chopping down a forest sleeping dwarf, right? And there are these giant. Well, on a dwarf, they look giant. They're the size of a softball. There's 6 of them attached to his back with these. They all look like something out of a bad Frankenstein movie. Big glass balls with electrostatic bursts going off in them. 3 are red and 3 are green. And there are various beakers and calcinators and mortars and pencils laying around that look comically large in comparison to the dwarf.
Calcinators.
Calcinators,
detect
yeah.
Magic?
Say again?
Detect magic?
Sure, yeah, go for it. Assuming you're making an actual roll and not just sniffing around.
Well,
But in order to,
I was just gonna sniff around for now.
okay, the room doesn't smell like magic. Some of the plants in the calcinators have a little bit of whiff to them, like they're the alchemy, that sort of thing. They're plants that can be used for that sort of thing. The only thing in here that's like screams magic is a little lead box in the corner, and the bubbles on his back.
Okay, I'll investigate the bubbles on his back.
Okay. They are fastened in these little settings, like a ring on somebody's finger. They're kind of cast into this metal casing that's attached to the big harness.
Cool.
Do you want to like pry them up or sniff them, or knowing you bite your blood and rub it on it? What's the plan?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna rub some blood on there and do
Of course you are.
detect magic.
Okay.
And I stopped for a minute, and who's in the room with me?
I assumed everybody, unless somebody deliberately chose not to enter.
No, I enter.
Okay.
All right, guys, I'm casting a spell, just so you know.
Back away.
Back up.
I had an idea for interrogation, but I'm backing up.
No one ever says that in 5e, right?
20.
What was that?
20.
Nice.
20.
Nice. So
Much
your
better rolling today.
your magic sniffer lights up, right? The 6 baubles come off without too much difficulty. You kind of pry them up when you cast the spell on them. The red ones explode. The green ones will heal people. It's an explosion, but of health.
So
The radius.
Explosion,
again?
the green ones heal.
Right. The explosive radius on all 6 of them, they're practically the same thing, is 15 feet and 3d10.
Now, which one's an explosion of flavor?
I don't have one of those. I don't have any gushers on this guy.
Oh.
No fury bombs then.
How many explosive ones? 1?
You come up with 6 baubles. They all have the same numerical value: 15-foot radius, 3d10, 3 heal, 3 cause explosive damage. Would you believe I didn't have a gusher until I was an adult?
That's strange.
Would you believe I don't know what that is?
It's kind of like a fruit roll-up with juice in the middle.
It's more like a gummy candy with juice in the middle.
Yeah, you're right.
get
It's more like a
something-
gummy with
I
like
think,
some
I,
kind of
I think I get what you're talking
with
about.
sugary syrup, goop, liquid in the middle.
Yeah, syrup is the good word for it.
I think we've got equivalents here. I can't name them.
pass out. I'm gonna give one of the explosive ones to Artian and say, "Here's your payment for unlocking the door. Don't drop it, no matter what you do."
So he hands you a
Give,
glass sphere the size of a softball.
Healing one. What?
I was just regaling to Artian what you gave him, in case you
What did
missed
you
it.
give me?
He gave you a glass sphere about the size of a softball that crackles with red lightning inside, and he tells you not to drop it, whatever you do.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Don't drop it.
Right, that's what you do. You don't let go.
Don't drop it.
And I give one
something
of
in my
the
pouch?
green ones to Kale, and I say, "This will heal you." And who else got
Thank you.
injured?
I'm pretty injured at the moment.
All right,
That's-
well, you can have one.
Am I the only one who came out unscathed?
No, I also came out unscathed.
So the
Yeah, I'll
monster
put
mob
the
came out
other healing
unscathed.
Yeah,
one in my
yeah.
pocket. And, who could I trust with an explosive one?
Me.
Bro, I don't know, Hermes. You're like a little bit spontaneous.
I'm a pretty good shot.
Hermes, nothing personal, but I don't know, guy.
These are thrown weapons, right? I'm a pretty good shot.
All right, I think a hobgoblin would fit this. So I give one to the hobgoblin. I keep one for myself and one healing for myself.
Okay, so sorry, I didn't catch the stats on these because I didn't think I was going to be having one, so I didn't write it down.
15-foot radius, 3d10.
Okay, and I have one of them?
Yes?
Okay.
Nameless Priest, how much damage are you up to? Like, where are you
I
looking
am
at?
down to 8, and I have 21 normally.
That hurts, yeah.
Oof.
I have 8 damage out of 16 total.
It could have been worse.
Mommy will be home soon. She just went to the store to get something.
So, Jit, remind me how many of these things you gave out. Where did we end
So
up
I
with
gave one to Artian.
Okay.
Explosive one to Artian. Explosive one to Voss. Healing one to the Tinker and Kayla.
Okay.
And 2 I'm keeping. 1 explosive, 1 healing one.
Okay. I just had a flashback to the Infinity Gems from Marvel Comics. Yeah, I know. Big nerd. Sorry.
Should have kept the explosive ones. They could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we could all have fun together.
So here you are with a sleeping dwarf, and don't forget the metal box that radiated magic.
I'm gonna go to the lead box and check that out too.
Okay. Is everyone else doing that, or do you guys want to split up and talk to the dwarf? What's the plan?
You gotta wake him up first.
Yeah, I want to
Hang
talk
on,
to
has
the
anyone got any
dwarf.
rope?
I'm going to just watch this dwarf because I don't really have a horse in this race.
I was gonna say, who's got rope?
Got copper wire.
Oh.
Okay, I point to you. I go, you, rope, tie me, tie him.
It's copper wire though. That could break easily.
I want to tie him to me.
But
Okay.
see, Hermes is an owl bear, and he might not
Yeah.
understand what you just said.
He don't spoke proper.
I don't have any rope, or I'd help.
We had some. I just don't remember if we
Yeah,
used it.
I can't believe I thought I had some, but apparently not.
I don't remember who was holding it.
I suppose I could sit on him.
But
Probably at least as effective as rope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to say, Zealot, when you... Nope, never mind. Getting ahead of
Yes.
myself. Wrong guy.
Oh,
I
no?
mean, right guy, wrong moment. My bad.
Why doesn't someone search him?
The dwarf? Sure.
Yeah, I search him.
Okay. Okay.
Digital. No, what am I talking about?
I wanna while he's
But
searching him, I'm gonna
I
hold
just
my
think-
Iklua just over his head, so if he gets up,
I'm
he's
just
gonna get up into a spearhead.
Well, the spell puts him to sleep for 8 hours.
Yeah, he
okay.
won't wake up until you guys want to wake him up. I'm not
Oh,
even sure you
cool.
can wake him up early. How does that work, Jit? Can you dispel your spell, or is he stuck sleeping it off for 8 hours?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have dispel magic.
Yeah, so he's stuck that way unless somebody else has dispel.
Okay.
What this does mean that he is incapacitated. I mean, don't get me wrong. That would rob you of the ability to interrogate him.
I
Not only that, we don't even know
talk
if
to
he's the
him while
right
he's asleep,
dwarf.
like through.
I
my-
don't think it'd be appropriate for me to kill him just yet.
Because
If-
the owl
if-
bear is sitting on him, or because you want information out of him? Like
Because
it
we
would
want
be in cold
information.
blood?
We want to know what's going on. I mean, we started this because we followed the dwarf that gave the seeds to the guy.
Right.
Why don't we check his body for markings, tattoos, little double dots with lines underneath?
Sure.
No, not you, Hunter. Don't worry.
We're not going to check your body for things. Right.
You're gonna have a big dinosaur. I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna start
Best-
running my claw around his lips and like looking for one in the same place as that golem homunculus thing.
Okay. So as you're kind of horsing around with your talons in his form, right? You don't find anything in his mouth, but as you dig through his clothes, you do find underneath all that harness. It's kind of hard to fuss around in there, but you do find that his jerkin has the same symbol that's on your tapestry in one spot, and the symbol that you guys found inside the gargoyle adjacent beastie's mouth on another part of the jerkin. They're next to each other, like two symbols back left to right.
So the weird eye and the triple dot slash Well, //
Yes, and I apologize for the sniffles. I don't know what's wrong with me. So you dig through there, and you dig through his pockets, and you come up with what looks like a crown, except it's been shoddily produced out of what looks like pot metal. It doesn't look very impressive, but from no matter where you are in this room, that thing lights up your brain with magic. It doesn't look like much. It would fit on the head of a child. It's jagged and kind of menacing to look at, but it doesn't look like it was well made. Like somebody just tore strips of pot metal and fastened it to an iron band.
At this point, Hermes decides he really likes it.
But it like hurts your brain with magic.
Magic on it.
Sure.
All right.
Just so y'all know, he's casting magic powers again.
Am I still blessed?
No, not unless he wants to do it to you again. But I mean, he can. There's no reason he can't. It's not like you're under pressure or anything.
One more time. No.
All right, thank you.
And
sorry, whoever wants this crown, but I'm gonna spit some blood on it.
Of course you are.
And here comes the die. Oh Lord.
At this point, I run away. What'd
you roll?
He's gone. He's out of the room. He's nowhere near the crown.
Is that a 1?
Yes.
That's not good. so roll it again.
Purple, you let me down. He rolled a 20 and then a 1. My goodness.
The tinker giveth and the tinker taketh away. Ooh. Oh, that sucks. So on the magical mishap table, what you have rolled is significant collateral damage.
Ooh.
So that's kind of vague. So let's say that your explosive sphere and Hermes' explosive sphere explode.
Wait.
Hey, now I backed up.
Wait, Hermes doesn't have one.
I specifically said that.
I know. I thought I said Hermes. That's right. He doesn't have one. Thus yours explodes. Legit.
Just mine.
Just yours.
Okay.
Feel free to roll that damage yourself, though, because I don't want to feel like anybody gets hit in the pants unfairly.
Am I the only one taking damage, or did everyone back up?
I mean, your fellows have come to realize that you're dangerous when you say I'm going to cast magic. So unless any of them have a reason to have stood by you, I would argue they backed up. The room's certainly big enough.
Absolutely not.
All right. So I'm taking 3 die 10 here.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
Hermes may not spoke proper, but he got lumpy brain.
2 on the first roll. 2 on the second roll. And 2 on the third roll.
Not bad.
I am not making this up.
That's awesome.
So
a lot worse.
So as you go to figure out what this crown does, there's a backlash, right? And lightning that's red carves out of the tallest tine on it through your body and blows up that big glass softball. And just lightning, bright red lightning shines out of your ears and your eyes and your mouth, and you look like a scary as hell light bulb for a second. And steam comes out of your robes and your face. And you're 1 orb down and relatively unscathed, which is very impressive.
Wow.
The dwarf flies 15 feet across the room and smashes into one of the desks from the force, but he's still.
Wow.
I say, for goodness sakes, man, we need this guy alive. We need to figure out the mystery of his evil,
plan
seeds.
Because I'm sure he has a plan, right?
I guess all my first level spells are done for the day.
Yeah, until you get a rest. But I mean, is that really a big deal? You could have been killed.
True. True.
3d10, you could have seriously.
I gave those exploding spears away too.
That it is. That it is.
Hey, very good, buddy. Mummy's home.
So you guys all see that, right?
Uh-huh.
And you decide what that means for yourself. So there's a metal box in the corner and a sleeping dwarf who's now bleeding from the forehead.
What about the crown?
Oh, there's the crown too. Oh yeah.
Hermes is gonna like run on over and take the crown because he really likes it and he doesn't want it to hurt it anymore.
It's warm to the touch, but not like it hurts you warm. And you scoop it up and shove it in your owlbear backpack, skin folds. I don't know.
You said backpack.
Saddle pouch.
Right.
Except not quite where a saddle pouch would be, but without a saddle yet.
Right. Let me say yet. I don't want to know who your rider's going to be. Or is this one of those weird, I'm not in a relationship with somebody, I'm self-paired, right? Is this one of those you're going to be your own rider deal?
Sort of like people have mentioned that I should have a saddle or they want to get on my back for certain attacks. I feel like it should grant them some sort of advantage or the lack of a need for a role to get on my back.
So you're a team player, I see.
Yes.
This is our team owlbear, right? You feel free to pet him. He's friendly to everybody. Unless you have fire, and then he's going to claw off your face.
Yeah, if anyone goes near me with fire, I will just go berserk.
So what now?
Okay.
Have we had a look around the room? Have we investigated anything?
I don't think so. There's the metal box. There's the various calculators and Olympics and whatnot. There's the sleeping dwarf, and the crown you filched out of his robes.
Can I do an intelligence check on the lead box?
Oh yeah, sure. For what?
To see if I could figure anything out.
Okay, sure, yeah. It independent of that, it definitely oozes magic. Not it, stuff inside of it.
Okay. Yeah, I rolled an 11.
Okay, so you look it over, right? It's an arcane vault. It's bigger. This means it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, and they're a huge pain in the ass to make. Once they're sealed, once they're sealed up, once they're created and sealed up. Crafted, right. You need the mage who created it has to die in order for it to be openable.
Well, that can be arranged.
I assume smashing it up would just like destroy the entrance to a pocket dimension.
No, Jit knows better. There is no smashing it up. They're basically indestructible. You would need very impressive, like magic from on high to even scratch it.
Okay.
On high, you say?
I mean, that's one interpretation. Yeah.
Well, I'll keep it.
You know, the big stuff.
My pocket for now.
Okay.
Well, and there's a box that we can't open it.
Basically,
we had magic from on high.
Yes. Yes.
So I come up to the box and I hold it with either of my hands.
Okay.
And I get down on my knees and I begin to pray to the tinker, singing a canticle that I learned shortly after my initial vision.
Was this the initial dream or the one you had during last week's session?
Last week's session.
Okay, so a canticle you learned over a 3-hour period, like the whole time, like Baby Shark on high.
I mean, if you can't learn a song in 3 hours,
yeah.
What's wrong with you? So, and then I take my hammer and I slam it down as if with all force, and then stop at the last second. And then the point of it touches the box, and I just push it down ever so slightly. And I roll a 15, and I'll add my wisdom or my divine spellcasting, if you'll allow it. And
go for it.
Do an 18.
That really wasn't what I had planned, but that's really great. I'm not going to throw it away. So you're looking at this little metal box. It's like the size of a children's toy. It's, you know, like a Rubik's Cube. But when you perform your little ritual, and it's featureless. There's no seam, there's no symbol. But when you do your little ritual, a seam appears, and then it just snaps open like one of those, you know, those chatterbox, just teeth on legs, how they snap open when they're done chattering. Just and we are looking at inside. There's a velvet box, a velvet inlay that's red, with various little gems and things in there.
Some stuff on it.
It's much bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. It's
Nice.
probably
All right.
6 feet wide on the inside.
I take the
I
contents out and I examine them.
Pass you the ones that are empty.
Okay. The one that catches your eye the most is a little blue gem that has the symbol of the Tinker on it.
Come on.
When you touch that, it absorbs into your skin, like it vanishes, and you get +2 wisdom.
Hey-o.
All hail the Tinker.
+2 wisdom, is that like a permanent buff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. You betcha.
Ooh.
That would bring me up to a 9.
It would bring you up to a 9. That's rough. Like
I'm
10
not
grit
a very
sandpaper.
Wise wizard.
Well, that's why you
Or a
perform all
wise
these
warlock.
that go bad, because you're not very wise.
Right, that's because your D20s kick you in the pants, right?
And I say, I rise up and I say, oh, the Tinker is faithful. Praise be to the Tinker. And I gather up my gems and jewels. And is there any other gems, or is that just the only one there?
Oh, no. As you pull the other things out, there's 5 or 6 other little baubles in there. Hermes, humor me. What did you do with the crown? Did you just shove it in a pocket? Did you?
I stuck it in a like inventory type pouch.
Okay, sure. There's a little red marble that the zealot has pulled out, tiny, like a mint seed. If it wasn't for the bright color, you wouldn't even see it. That calls to you. Do you want to touch that?
Yeah.
Do you want to touch it?
Hail to the Tinker.
Okay. And it snaps into the palm of your hand, like it floats off the ground and embeds itself in the palm of your hand. You bleed a little bit, which I don't imagine you have a problem with. And now you can attach a D6 of fire damage to any spell that you cast successfully that was leveled. So not a
Dang.
cantrip.
It's what leveled?
That was leveled, so not a cantrip. Any other spell you can attach a D6 fire to, but you burn a hit point to do so.
Fair enough.
I don't
Now,
think
when you
he's
say
worried
burn
about
a hit
burning
point,
a
what
hit
does that
point.
mean?
I mean, he takes 1 point of damage in that moment. The burn was a pun because it's a fire gem.
Gotcha.
Is this by choice or automatic?
Oh, no, it'll just happen. You don't have any say.
So what if it's only for attack spells, though?
Only for attack spells, right.
All right,
When you're
so
looking
if
to
I'm
do somebody else
detecting
harm.
magic, I'm not going to light someone on fire.
You are pretty sure that if you were opposed to that, you could dig this thing out of your hand. It's not like the ring. It would hurt, but you could totally get out of it.
Does this count as a magic item?
It sure does. Not one you have to attune to.
Okay, all right.
Jason, you find he drops the thing, the zealot, excuse me, let me get out of my thoughts. The zealot pulls things out and he's holding them in his fist, and there's what looks like a suit of armor that would fit on a Lego, right? A Lego man. It just grows to a size that you're pretty sure with a little bit of adjustment and tinkering would fit you perfectly.
Okay.
Where did I put that? It gives you +3 more armor class.
Good.
And has a little, like a hinge on the side of it that will hold 3 inventory items for you that would be wielded with one hand.
Okay. I'm taking it.
There's a little black cut. It looks like a piece of lead. It's really heavy. It's cut like a little triangle. Voss, you're pretty sure that it smells like something that you want.
Oh, yeah?
I mean,
Okay,
you don't
I
have
pick
to
it up
take
and you start to examine it. What is it?
Okay. It's a little tiny ziggurat, like a spire, but it's like the size of a human finger. And upon picking it up, you gain +2 charisma whenever you're trying to talk people into being logical.
+2 charisma and then what?
Whenever you're trying to talk somebody into taking a sheerly logical point of view.
Okay.
So when you're trying to remove emotions from somebody's argument.
+2 charisma when trying to make someone be logical.
Yes. There's a little arrowhead that upon the tinker pulling them out flies towards Ikale's general direction, zips through the air like it's got a life of its own, and slams into the side of your bow. That'll give you a +2 to dex rolls when you use it.
Oh, she can finally use her
needed
Yay, I can
bow.
use my bow.
Hey.
Okay, so does that replace my -2 dex with a +2 or just make it a 0?
That makes it a 0, unfortunately.
Okay. Better.
But-
Still
It
aren't
overrides
very
the
good.
-2.
Right, you can still, yeah, you're still not so hot, but it's an upgrade.
Hey, there's a lot of adventuring to go. Who knows?
And I mean, I can't in good conscience offer Uhtred anything. He just showed up late. He did get a
You got a grenade?
yeah, right. He got a grenade. He's fine. And Hermes got his thing. I just don't know if he knows it yet.
Oh,
Oh.
I didn't forget you. I already gave you your thing. I just
No,
don't know if you noticed.
I mean, I guess I kind of took my thing from the sounds of it. Would it be metagaming for me to have a look at this crown right now?
I mean, yes, but I'm okay with that.
Okay, cool. I want to take a look at the crown.
So you poke at it, right? And I don't want to know, how do owlbears investigate a thing? Do you lick it? You're a dog. Do you figure out if it goes in your mouth by putting it in your mouth?
It's got a beak, so I think licking it is a little bit weird. I think, like, just generally sort of like, I want to put it down on the floor, crouch down to its level, and start, like, poking at it with my,
Like, I don't know if I want to
Like-
eat this, Shaggy.
like, tilting my head, like,
So you poke and you prod at this thing, and a couple of claw taps in, you get this just pulse of images in your brain, one after another, like the opening countdown of a movie. And you see yourself with the crown on your head, which looks doofy as hell because of how small it is. First, there's an image of you with 3 green goblins, and then 8 green goblins, and then 40 green goblins. And they're all worshiping. They're doing this at your owlberry feet.
I am the Monster King. I'm going to put that on. I'm going to wear it from now on.
It's kind of hard to see in amongst the feathers. It's only like this tall.
It's like I got like a couple of little spikes coming out.
Right. You look
through
like
the
a
top.
horned owl bear, like some sort of strange.
I was already a horned owl.
You can have it resized at some point.
It looks like I got like a bunch of black little teeth coming out from the top of my head.
Right, you look like a tiefling and an owl bear had a really hot night in a Motel 6. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's on your fingers.
Yeah, right. You could make a pinky ring out of it, right?
Would that still work if it was like on my wrist or something?
You're pretty sure, yeah.
I'll have it on my wrist. I think.
Okay.
I don't think he's got it. Yeah, his wrists look a bit bare. So we'll have
Was
it
that a
as
pun? Was that a pun?
It wasn't supposed to be, but yeah.
Those
it
are the
is
best
now.
puns.
Yeah, my
So
bare hands
the
were
zealot's gone somewhere for a second. You guys have a sleeping dwarf, right, who will be sleeping for a while, whether he or you like it or not. What's the plan now?
Did you guys search his person?
Hermes did,
Oh,
yeah.
wait.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, we can't interrogate him right now.
I mean, you could try.
Can Jit whisper mind him while he's asleep?
Hey,
I don't see why not. He's still conscious.
All
Conscious.
right, I'm gonna try that.
Is it?
Can
I forget.
interrogate
Whisper
him?
mind is a cantrip, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I still
I
have
like
my
that. That's a
second
good idea.
spells. I don't have any third level.
What was that, Jason?
We don't have to step back.
Yeah, it's
Right.
a cantrip. You don't have to
Only
step
in a
back.
game where the magic can kick you in the pants do you hear mages going, I'm going to cast a spell, and everybody's like, see ya. Right?
Whoa.
Whoa, slow down now there. What do you mean cast? What do you mean you want me to cast light? No, that's a torch. Light's only for emergencies. At another table, I had a mage blow himself up when casting the light spell.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
What?
To be fair, he
Intentionally?
did light up the cave very well. But
I
he
mean,
also
I
died.
guess.
Right, like he exploded.
Right.
And cast fragments of light in, like his body lit up as it exploded, and bits.
I'm not sure that's the way you want it to go, though.
No, not so much. But he did save the party from a TPK because they got to see the goblins in the darkness that were overwhelming odds, and they were like, "Well, he died, and that sucks. We're leaving." Left the goblins to feed on his body parts and called it a day.
That does not sound like the best way to go.
No,
it doesn't.
The player had a great time. He had a new character underneath the old one. He was good to go. Seriously, this was right before we had to go online. So he handed me his character sheet, and underneath it was one that was filled out. I had no idea. So here you are with a sleeping dwarf and a room full of alchemy equipment.
I'm going to whisper mine.
Right.
Ooh,
And
that's a good call.
just looking for all my notes on this adventure so far. Do you guys remember the name of the dwarf?
Oh,
Did he
I
have a
wasn't
name?
there.
We don't know the name.
I was like, did I
We
give
never
him a
did
name?
get a name. No, didn't that guy tell us, the guy who fed us in the cave?
I thought you
don't
just told
recall.
us it was a weird goblin, weird dwarf with green eyes.
Yeah.
I thought that's all we knew.
Not the name. Epithet, but not
Yeah,
the name.
I'm pretty sure the barkeep literally said he didn't tell me he wasn't very talkative or something along those lines. Words to that effect.
Okay, do you guys have anything in mind that I should ask him?
Actually, before you do that, which may wake him up, do we have anything that could tie him up first?
I can sit on him.
We still have rope, right? I mean,
Supposedly we have rope, but nobody has it listed in
Apparently
their
we don't.
inventory.
Was we were told when we left the village that had risen from the cave that we were given a whole bunch of stuff, but they weren't given to any of us.
We
specifically.
use. I
we
don't know
used
if
one to get in that
was
tube, but we
gonna
have
say.
supply, right? So
Yeah.
one of us could burn us. How much supply is a rope?
We had rope, right?
we
Yeah, I
use rope
forget
to
how much you
lower
have
ourselves into that cavern. So
Yeah, we just don't remember if we took it or not.
So maybe Hermes has it because Hermes climbed down by himself afterwards.
it's
I
not
have
in my
supply.
inventory.
You can spend one supply to conjure up 100 feet of rope. I'm sorry. When I say conjure, I mean replace. It's not phantom equipment.
All right,
Of
so
copper wire.
Tinker, are you gonna burn a supply then?
I'll burn a supply.
All right.
So the Tinker looks around at some of the plants around the space and with little bits of fibers left over in his backpack and whips up 100 feet of rope like, God's gift to MacGyver products. Boom, done. The Tinker at work, everybody.
Oh, good. I was just thinking about how we needed some rope.
Would you like to use chain instead?
You have chain?
I think rope will be okay if we use my idea.
Yeah.
What's your idea?
I was gonna say tie a loop around his neck, tie a loop around Hermes, and have Hermes just hold a weapon up to him.
Oh, I like it.
And then so he'll be too close to get away, and if he comes any closer, he'll be going towards a sharp thing.
I feel like if I woke up to suspended from the floor with an owl bear looking at me going, "Look here, you skeevy little troll," I don't think I would argue with you.
I certainly wouldn't.
I'm a pretty big guy, and I don't think that would factor in.
No, I agree. That's my thought process.
I think it's a good idea. Let's do Hermes' idea.
You can be pretty short and still hoist a dwarf off the ground.
Yes.
Okay, so we do Hermes' idea and we tie him up and tie him to Hermes.
Sure. Jit, what were you speaking into his mind with Whisper Mind?
I was trying to figure out, but I still, for the life of me, can't find any of my notes I've been taking.
I feel bad. If we were playing in person, I'd have given you all a notebook.
Hold on.
I go to Staples every year when they have their big blowout for kids and going back to school sale and buy
Walmart had notebooks for like 50 cents.
That's not bad. Nice.
For school, I got a dozen for my classroom.
Nice.
I'm used to having students that don't bother buying their own supplies.
So you provide. That's very nice of you.
So if I want them to have notebooks, I buy notebooks. If I want them to
Nice.
have binders, I buy binders.
I was really lucky that a friend of mine for Christmas, birthday,
Keep it right back.
Christmas got me this. So I printed off
Nice.
all of the ICRPG stuff so far and crammed it in there.
Nice.
Binders, separators, the whole bit. I have
Does
cool
ICRPG not come in hard copy on its own?
It does not, because Hank believes in a world with no paper books. Because I love Hank, but he's out of his mind.
Wait, ICRPG can be bought hard copy.
Yes, but only the core book.
Oh, really?
And you can go, I suppose you can go to the Drive-Thru-RPG and have, I think, Magic and Worlds printed off on print on demand. But a lot of the other stuff, if you don't print it yourself, it's a PDF. Which is, I mean, is fine most of the time. But I don't know. I like having all my stuff in one place.
I've grown to like paper.
I really like hard copies
Me too.
Especially for role-playing games.
Oh, did I mention your Conan background is awesome? And since you've put it up, I keep hearing the Conan cartoon in my head. Which is just dripping with machismo, right? Because here's Conan fighting two skeletons on top of a mountain of skeletons next to a giant skull. And the announcer goes, Conan, the mightiest warrior ever. And I'm like, you know what? I believe him.
That's the one where they made his background that his parents got turned to stone and he's fighting the evil wizard who did it, right?
Right, his family gets turned to stone, and you know it's aimed at kids because his family is turned to stone, and it's his dad and mom and grandfather, not his wife and children.
Right.
So it's definitely, but yeah, all in all, they don't screw it up that badly. It's definitely a good version. But
this summer I was listening to some Conan stories in the car while we were driving down to Virginia.
Oh yeah.
And my daughter was like, we get to the what's the one, the ice giant daughter, and she's like, this is not appropriate, Dad.
So I was arguing with a friend earlier in one of the earlier stories. I think it's Phoenix and the Sword. It might be the first story. Conan picks up a Shemite in armor. So a grown man, to be fair, in cloth armor. Shemite armor is just like heavy and stuff. But Conan hurls him 150 feet through clear air. And I'm going, dude's a superhero.
This was us. We had this conversation.
Yes. Yeah, right. Like, he's not superhuman. I'm like, well, crap, he's not. He heals from injuries. And it's always his innate Sumerian will to survive, right? He's a barbarian. Like, yeah, and I'm a nerd, but I don't know every language on Earth. It doesn't just give me defense.
The new comic books are pretty cool. I need to get some more of them, actually.
Oh, yeah?
One with
I just started reading Marvel's old print from, the 70s.
Yeah, they have a new series they have 3 maybe new Conan books that are really good.
Nice. I just picked up the first issue of Savage Avengers, which is Conan, Venom, Brother Voodoo, Wolverine, and somebody else as a team.
Yeah.
I read one of those ones. That's pretty
I have the first 3 issues or something.
Oh, nice. I haven't read it yet. Is it good?
It's okay. The regular Conan was better, I thought.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I'm sure. So here you got
that show you're talking about on Tubi now.
Oh yeah, it's a friend of mine recommended it to me, and I was like, I don't know, that looks like way too much cheese for me. And he was like, disregard the plot and the characters, throw all that stuff out, and just look at it for cool stuff you can use at the table. And I was like, oh, all right, sure, I'll watch the first one.
All right, speaking of the table, I'm gonna whisper mine to this dwarf.
Oh, good.
Are you familiar with the Windy Oak Tavern in Birchvale?
So in his unconscious, delirious, head throbbing, because now he has a headache in there and he doesn't know why because he's not awake. In his half delirious state, you're pretty sure he's not really capable of lying to you, and he doesn't really ask who's penetrating into his brain. He just kind of murmurs out this yes. And not yes like he doesn't want to tell you, yes like he's wincing through pain.
And What can you tell us about the plants you sold to the innkeeper?
They're a chaos engine. And he's kind of, you can see a picture of his face in your mind's eye, and he's like wincing from the light that isn't there.
And why are you supplying him with these plants?
I just take orders, my boss.
Who is your boss?
I don't know, creepy fella. We don't get, he doesn't tell me.
Who does number 2 work for?
Where can we find this boss?
He's, I don't know. I talked to him through the rat catchers. They could tell you.
The rat catchers. Who should I ask for in the rat catchers?
The skeevy little one. He's human, dead eye. You can't miss him.
Does he
Good
have a
shot
name?
with a dagger.
Oh, the barkeep.
No,
No, the
not him.
barkeep's
He's
huge.
he's the leader of the rat catchers. He doesn't know.
Okay, I tell you guys that I'm communicating with him, and any questions for him?
What are the rat catchers?
What are
They're the Thieves Guild we were interacting with last week.
Is that
Whose
no?
building we're in.
I know, but like I didn't realize. I forgot they were a thieves guild. I was wondering of their intent.
Oh,
I see. Right. He meant who are they as in what's the mission statement, bro.
That's what. Yeah.
I see.
All right.
I thought you were asking out of game, and you just didn't remember.
No. I should have done my dumb voice, but yeah.
That's all right. Jit, do you reciprocate the question?
Yeah.
Okay. He goes, they're a thieves guild. They've got it in their crazy heads that if they eat enough disease creatures, they'll become immune to disease because that's how they think the world is going to end. They're one part thieves guild, one part cult.
Huh.
They eat diseased people.
Creatures like rats, hence the name.
Right.
And this dwarf works for them?
No, he's right. I can't answer you because you can't peer into his mind.
Oh, right.
All right. I let Hermes and everyone else know the answer to that. And do you have any questions for? Any other questions?
No.
Do plant come with antidote?
There it is.
That's a good question. I asked him that.
It goes, no, but the plant wears off on its own in a couple of weeks.
Now, why does the plant have this utopian effect on people who consume it?
Now, why are you trying to control them?
He gets back into Jit's mind. He goes, the plant doesn't have a utopian effect per se. It generates whatever effect the person who prepares it wants it to have. It's hence the chaos bit. You give it to a good person, it does good things. You hand it to a bad person, it does bad things.
Is it harmless?
Over time, yes. Although I suppose if somebody really wanted the people they fed it to die, it would not be.
What did
But
you
they had to plant it in people's bodies, which means the person who's doing it is inherently evil.
Well, I mean, lots of terrible people who do terrible things think they're on the side of the angels. I mean,
But also, didn't it just have to like grow in bodies? You could just have a limited supply that grows in people who die naturally.
yeah, I mean, you don't have to whack people, right? You could just Leonardo da Vinci took corpses to get a better understanding of the human form for sculpture and painting. Creepy, in my opinion, but effective, I suppose.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I just imagining a rather kind of goofy artist with just a pile of corpses in the corner. What
is your name?
It goes, I am John. The human you're looking for is Alistair. Please get out of my head. I have a major headache.
John who?
He goes, the village I come from, we don't have surnames. It's just John.
What's the name of your village?
That's that's the desert village. We're in it, I think.
Did you give us a name?
What's
for
the
that
name
village?
of that human?
I actually don't think I did.
The village.
But I was thinking river dust, because through the town there is a recession where there used to be a river.
River John
so
of
this-
River Dust. Okay.
I thought this was the moor.
No, that's the desert in question, right? The
Oh,
whole
that's the
desert.
entire desert. Okay.
Right. You're in the town of River Dust.
Did he answer my question about the name? I got booted off.
Yeah, sorry about that. His name is John. He's from the town of River Dust, which is the town you're in right now. And the human that is his boss is Alistair.
Alistair.
Hmm.
I don't know if that rings a bell for a good reason or not. If it's anything to do with this campaign, I don't know if I've heard it on this campaign at all.
I think of Alistair Moody and Harry Potter.
Alistair Crowley.
That's
There
where
are
my brain
Both of
goes.
those people.
Was Mad Eye's first name Alistair?
Yeah.
I'm
Huh.
sure it was, yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds right. I just hadn't considered it. And I've got him in my head going, don't break ranks, if one of us is killed, stay vigilant. My kind of guy. Anyway, yeah, so here you are peering into his brain, right? Did you have any more questions or dramatic inquiries?
Where can we find Alistair? He doesn't know, right?
I don't know.
We got to ask
Yeah,
one
he
of the rat
doesn't know.
catchers, don't we?
Yeah, the rat catchers.
Did you want to ask him where you might find Alistair?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him.
Okay. He goes, he should be in the town somewhere. He travels sometimes. The innkeeper will know where to find him.
The innkeeper. Did we dispatch the innkeeper?
No, you did not. The innkeeper's fine. Your guide into the desert has had his brain spilled out like wet oats out of a bag, but the innkeeper's all right.
And we stupidly didn't take his armor with us.
Yes, that did him no good at all. None.
Yeah. No, but it was jewel encrusted and valuable looking.
True, we could have sold it.
Yeah, that's my point.
I have to fetch a sausage.
Hey,
Okay.
I know. Sounds awkward.
sounds like a party.
Yeah, right?
I asked him what god does he worship.
The weaver and I go, the lattice rather, the lattice and I are connected. Wow. Will you please get out of my head now? You are confident that he does not know that you are the reason he's asleep. He has no idea.
I asked him, "Are you a wizard?"
It was sort of. I make trinkets that do things that look like magic, but no, I don't have any arcane power.
Do you know anyone who does?
Yes, Alistair, come to think of it, is a powerful mage.
Really?
What about ask him about the symbol if he knows?
Yeah,
what
that's
the
what I was going to
symbol's
ask him. Would his symbol be a line with 2 dots above it?
3 dots, and no, that would be my symbol.
Oh,
What about the eye?
The eye, you explain the eye to him, and he goes, yeah, that sounds like Alistair's symbol. Lots of mages have this thing for eye symbols. You'd be surprised, but that one sounds like his.
all right.
Should we ask him about the ring or no?
Is
I
that
don't
a
know
good
about that.
idea?
The ring came from
Jed's like, I don't know.
the eye. We don't want Alistair to know we have the ring.
I don't
suppose-
think you guys know the ring's power either, though.
If
You
you
could
did-
ask him and
Told us
like,
that
no.
it's dangerous.
I didn't share that information with you guys, right?
you could ask him and then stab him, I suppose.
Told
when
us
we're
that
done.
it was dangerous. That was it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You were like, hey, no, this one's for
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
and it's
agree.
dangerous.
Archangel.
He also said that it's powerful, but only for him.
That's true. That's what I meant by this one's for me. It's powerful,
I
but only
don't
for
think.
me.
Yeah, he wouldn't
Yeah.
explain why it was dangerous, and I don't even think he said it was dangerous. I think he said this one's for me. It won't work for you.
Ask no further questions, right?
Sort of.
What am-
yeah.
what-
I'm gonna let the Tinker there know that he doesn't worship your god.
I was wondering why you were asking.
He's all yours.
Try not to leave any marks.
If it's all right with all of you, I think that this man deserves to be condemned for his sins against the town, the murders that were a result of his nefarious plans.
And that pesky piece.
That, and he just likes to condemn people. I mean,
I-
guy who likes
yeah.
his job, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't have a horse in this race. I don't have any objections to you condemning him one way or the other.
Well, I say, if you have any last words for the Tinker, you may say them now. Otherwise, be ye condemned.
He's asleep.
Right,
He
just remind-
can't
who's
say.
Who's his god again? The
The lattice, the
He
formless.
fell
one.
asleep?
He is asleep. He's been asleep this whole
I
time.
was reminded.
Jit's been
Oh.
whisper minding into his brain.
Okay.
And then telling us what his brain says.
Right.
I asked
I-
him if he's willing to take the Tinker into his heart.
He scoffs at the idea and he goes, absolutely ridiculous. Heathen God. No way.
I rolled a 19, so 20, 24, 23.
As he scoffs at the idea of, as he scoffs at the suggestion, right, and he points out that the Tinker has no power. You kind of see a smirk come over the zealot's face as the what's left of his soul gone. And he's off to. Have you guys seen The Good Place? He's stuck in the medium place forever. Or maybe the bad place. Maybe he gets frozen yogurt for the rest of his life because it's like ice cream, isn't it? Just not as good. What a human thing
Yogurt
to
is
do.
better than ice cream.
What a
Just a
human
sec,
thing to
my
do.
dog is doing my head in. She wants out.
Are
Okay.
you crazy, Jay? Frozen yogurt is strictly better than ice cream.
Nah, nonsense.
Heresy.
To me, that sounds like a wonderfully human thing to do. Take a really good thing and screw it up a little bit. Because it's kind of what we do. No offense to those of you who love Froyo. I didn't mean to offend anybody.
Oreo is better.
Oh, God, I just
There's
said
no
Froyo.
apologizing for offending
Healthier.
someone who likes froyo.
I can't believe I just said that. Ugh. Frozen yogurt. Ugh.
Something that we don't get often over here.
The other day I said deets, and I asked my wife to slap me if I ever said that again, instead of the word details.
You know what's even better than ice cream, though? I mean, not that it's a huge difference, and you probably haven't experienced this in the UK, is frozen custard.
I actually
I haven't had that.
frozen custard,
It's really
and it
big
is
around
awesome.
here.
I've had
Custard.
custard flavored ice cream. We made it in back in high school. in
Wait, whoa, whoa.
science.
Ice cream that tastes like custard?
No, ice
It
cream that's made
contained
with custard. It's
Oh.
frozen custard.
Yeah, I suppose. Like a tin of custard actually went into it, and it was better than any ice cream I've ever had.
Huh.
I don't
Yeah,
know if I've had
that's
cold
making
custard,
all
but I don't know if it was like frozen.
No, this was frozen. Like literally, we had a bowl in a bowl, and between the two bowls was like crushed ice and salt. It was part of a science experiment.
Yeah, I haven't
And-
had that.
yeah.
That sounds good.
We mixed the custard into the top bowl, and yeah, I think we did other things to it, but it turned into this really nice ice cream. But we had to share it across the entire class, and I was really unhappy about that. I wanted a bowl of it, but I couldn't.
So you condemn this dwarf.
Yes.
Oh, and IKL's sent
I
everybody
gave
a
you
link
the
about
website
custard.
for Abbott's custard, which is huge around here. Frozen custard.
And
They
as you
started in my area.
step back and, I don't know, do you smirk? Do you enjoy yourself? Are you one of those damning priests that enjoys their job?
No, I don't enjoy it. I mean, it's just necessary.
I see.
He doesn't follow the tinker.
So as you step back, having accomplished the task, you watch the same thing happen to him that happened to that gargoyle creature.
After watching him do this for the second time, I'm a little wary to be around him.
You should be.
Looks like a pattern to me, right? Well,
He's
actually, that's not
clearly
true.
a little hostile to people who don't share his
It's
religion.
not really a pattern until it happens 3 times, right? You've only watched him do it twice. That's 2 dots in a
Right.
straight
No,
line.
Right.
we've watched him do it 3 times.
Still worth keeping an eye on him in the meantime.
What's the 3rd time?
The first time was in the mine with that monster in the water with the so
Oh, right.
it's
Third
officially
time.
a pattern.
He's a
I use it whenever
soul-sucking
I can.
priest. So you watch the dwarf disintegrate into little black specks, and then he's gone. What's left over is a little effigy, just like the one you saw before, but smaller.
Oh, really?
Oh.
So this guy's
So
some
he
kind
wasn't
of
the real guy.
interesting.
So, guys, we
Find
have.
Alistair.
I mean, that's one option. I understand that the hobgoblin, or at least the player playing the hobgoblin, wanted to go back to the metal city and start something. I don't know.
I wanted to start building up our fortifications and start building up the town.
Couldn't you hire someone to do that?
Well, we should go there and hire someone to do that.
Haven't you heard the phrase, you want something done right? Right?
Like, I don't want to necessarily micromanage it, but I want to go there and get things rolling and sort of check on what's already been... Because we told them to build a wall, so I'd like to see if they're done building the wall yet.
You're for building the wall?
The wall around our town.
I did kind of want to have a word with a blacksmith and see. Well, I don't know. I've only got 40 gold actually. I dare say a Well, would our blacksmith in our town that we
Saved, lifted,
lifted, be into
sifted
doing a few custom orders
for you
his-
guys? Yeah,
for
you
his-
bet.
for his little owl bear friend?
His little owl bear friend. You are
Yeah.
twice the length he is, at least.
I'm the littlest.
You're like a Kia Soul, right? You're wider than you are tall, just barely, right? Like,
Hoot!
Maybe we should go for Alistair, the boss.
Yeah, I was thinking we should go after Alistair.
Yeah, well, do we even know where to find him?
Somewhere in this town, and there was.
Catches, no.
right. So what
Dead eye.
he got was that he travels back and forth from the town of Riverdust to other places. He wasn't specific, and that the rat catcher's boss would know where to find him.
Okay, well, let's go do that. The town, remember, is entrusted in the care of the tinker. They're faithfully serving and continuing to build it up. I mean, it might need to be checked on at some point, but I think we can go find Alistair.
Sure.
How exactly are you going to find your way back to the metal town anyway? I mean,
Yeah, that's a good question.
you
Yeah,
did
of
get
course, we got shot up here.
you did get magically catapulted across a continent practically.
So, guys, I think we should let our new companion Artian in on some history of us.
That is a great
I have
idea.
no idea what's going on.
He wants to stick with us or say, forget it. You guys are nuts.
You guys do that. I'm going to go get a drink. I'll be right back. That is a
Go
great
ahead.
idea.
That's a good idea, but since I joined partway through, we should start with the people who are in the group at the beginning.
Counts me out
Who
too.
wants to go
Pop out.
first?
Okay, so I think that makes 3 of us, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, 'cause Jason's not here anymore.
Jason's not here.
Did he leave the group permanently?
I think so.
Oh,
Laura.
Yeah, the timing
So-
of the day was really not good for him.
gotcha.
So I guess we started off, we all met up in a tavern in Birchdale?
The Windy Oak Tavern in
The Windy Oak
Birchvale.
Tavern in Birchvale, and we spontaneously got attacked by living rose bushes with gargantuan thorns about the size of your arms, getting fired into buildings and things. And
That's how I
Then-
remember it.
yeah, and there was so we had to kill them off, and apparently something weird was going on in the surrounding forest. And so as we were talking about it, how did we come across the Tavern Keep's peace
Well,
potion?
the rose bushes destroyed the tavern.
Yeah, the room collapsed and we found it.
That's right.
He was the
I
oldest
don't think we
one,
found it.
so-
I think he explained it willingly. Oh, 4 of us, sorry. There is Jasont.
Okay, yeah, he's back.
But yeah, so yeah, he explained it willingly, but we checked it out, and he came down with us. And as he was going to get payment for the seeds, he got shot with the little dart trap.
That sounds about right. That's how I remember it.
Yeah, and so from then on, we decided to chase after this dwarf guy who we've just met.
Then we
They
got
were
attacked
planting
by a
the
giant mole
bodies.
under the ground.
You did get attacked by a giant mole. Yes.
Which
The
led to us
seeds he
finding.
planted in dead bodies, which he served to the townsfolk, and it made the townsfolk peaceful. They
You
never
can see why that's a
Which
problem,
then
right?
you got all bent out of shape about.
Yeah.
And when you put it like
Unholy.
that, it's
Everyone was very suspicious about people who get along.
yeah, right. Like, wait, I say there's like 80 people that are all living in harmony, and you're like, something ain't right. And I mean, you weren't
Sounds
wrong,
suspicious.
you know? Right. People coexisting?
So we found a city underground that existed for a long time underground, and it had a sort of like a magical sun, which was broken. And
Which
we
is
met
where we
a
met-
dead guy, and we killed some kind of creature.
It was like a flying mess of tentacles, wasn't it?
Yes.
But
Something
before
out
that,
of
we met Ikale.
horror.
Yeah, you met Ikale before that, and then right before you fought the creature, me and
Voss and Adarian, who is Joe's character, who isn't here today.
Was not here today.
is he coming back later, or do you know?
Not today, I don't think. Like here, it's 12:30, so I don't.
No, but I mean, like, is he going to be here next week? Do you think?
He hasn't said he won't, and like he's up there in my circle of friends, so I dare say I would. You know, I've been speaking to him. He
Okay.
mentioned it.
Cool. Just curious.
So you guys
So anyway,
find
we got
Ikale under attack by
salamanders.
moles.
Ride around
Yep.
underground. And,
Oh, yeah. You got your horse
we
commanders.
raised the city out of the ground, and then I guess we claimed it, or the Tinker claimed it, or whatever. So that's what Voss wants to do, is go back and work on our city.
The way I remember it, a bunch of townsfolk lost their mind at this marvel of a city raising from the earth, and the Tinker's priest was like, I did that. Right?
Oh, and then I said it's worse before we had walls.
City. So yeah, we went back underground. We dodged some traps, found some stuff, met a guy who fed us a lot of food, and then he took us to the desert through this magical wind tunnel. And then he died. He fell on his face. He fell into a tomb and cracked his skull open. We went into the tomb. We got into a bit of a fight with these kind of black, blobby, zombie, ghouly type guys who were walking around in a fountain of sorts. And then we met some fire fairies who were dying, and they wanted us to help them. So we ended up getting them to send us to their leaders.
Oh, wow.
Which is this city we're in. They use the fire fairies to fuel their energy sources. So we came to the village, went to the tavern. Tavern guy sent us on an errand to get a box. We met the rat catchers. Then we ended up going to the magistrate to deliver some information. They shot our owlbear in the ass with some arrows. I ended up threatening the magistrate, and he gave us a bunch of gold and healed the owlbear and sent us on our way. And the innkeeper's very suspicious. He seems to be very deadly with a knife, and I think we're going to be heading back there now because he is the leader of the rat catchers, who are this cult thief guild that eat corrupted and diseased animals, and
they take a very literal approach to you are what you eat.
Organized
Troubling.
crime syndicate type thing. And so yeah, the dwarf guy is leading us to this wizard. Now my character personally, I'm on a bit of a magical quest, which I won't get into now, but so it's in my interest to find out everything I can about this wizard and this wizard ring and whatever else. Anything else? Did I leave anything
I'll
out?
have another.
I think that covers all the major points.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Sorry, I got
think
the no-vid. It's when you have the sneeze, but you don't have the COVID. Ugh.
Tinkerbell bless you.
Yeah.
Could be worse. You could have the COVID.
That's true. That's true. I could also have wet socks.
Oh.
Is it just me, or is accidental moist the worst? Like moist you weren't planning on.
Between the ages of 16 and 18, I had a moped, and that was basically like being in Wales. It's a rainy country, so a combination of moped and lots of rain meant I was
Constantly in wet sock mode.
unintentionally moist all the time.
Oh, that's nasty.
And our prime minister advises against moistliness.
And people have auto-tuned it into a song and everything.
That's awesome. Yeah, like no one should ever have to say, "Why is this wet?" You know what I mean? Like that. And plumbing is just the nastiest trade ever. Everything is always wet. Something slides into something else. It's dark. It's cramped. It's icky. Plumber's buddy's job is to stay wet forever. That's what? Anyway, sorry. I replaced some of my plumbing earlier.
This first few
So
years
are
of
you
plumbing.
joining us, RTN?
Yeah, do you want to stay with the ramshackle bunch of nutballs?
Yeah, I guess you guys seem like a odd bunch, but it's cool.
All right.
Are you
Especially the
still
one
a
guy that
little bit
talks to
drunk, or
Blood.
you hungover at this point because you were
Oh,
drunk?
after seeing him talk to Blood, I think I'm a little bit sober.
Well, let's go to the inn then and change that.
Right? Isn't that the best cure for a hangover? Right? Start drinking again.
Hair of the dog.
What's the saying? Hair of the dog that bit you?
So you guys want to go back down through the building and end up outside? Is that the idea? And work your way back to the inn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you guys get outside, the people haven't left. Like the crowd's gotten smaller. Some people have had things to do when they've gone back to it. There's a whole flock of people just kind of standing and staring at the big hole up there. And lots of them, like, their vision snaps down to look at you when people pull at you and ask you what happened. And you hand them a hot dog tray.
You got sauerkraut on that?
When they all ask what happened, I look at the
kimchi,
priest and wait for him to talk.
Kimchi and relish.
The nameless one.
That sounds good.
Excuse me, are we forgetting the fact that Hermes grounded this thing? like a boss.
I wasn't, but some of
I'm
the
forgetting
townsfolk-
nothing. I just figure he's the one who likes to be the talkie-talkie front man.
Yeah.
So the townsfolk gather around Hermes and Ikael in particular. And some of them, lots of them hoot and holler and call you impressive names. Hermes, you hear people calling him, there's a title going around. They call him the Meteor.
The meteor.
Ooh.
Meteor.
Ikael they call the Pancake, but they're still kind of loving it.
I'm a living pancake. I only lost half my HP.
Only half?
I only had 6.
I see. But yeah, so that did hurt. All right.
I've got 10 more HP than you as a max.
So gold is thrown around, right? People shower you with praise and among other things, gold. Some of it ends up at your feet. There's probably 60 gold there.
Oh my.
To divvy up however you feel like it. But
Wait, I have a question about the currency.
sure,
60 doesn't divide 7 ways. Are you sure you don't mean 70?
No, I meant 60.
Hey Google, what's 60 divided by 7?
The answer is approximately
Not a flat number.
8.57? I think he's got that wrong.
So you want to go find a metallurgist and break the coins
Eagle's
down.
eye.
Yeah, I changed his voice because I got really angry at the
well,
woman.
Artian shouldn't get any. He didn't do anything.
Wait,
I feel like Artian might not stay with us if he gets
can't get
nothing.
involved in that. That's your argument as players to
I
have.
already got paid
Artian,
for opening a lock.
Artian, did you have a question about the currency? Is that what I heard?
Is it? Are you guys using the SUP thing?
So supply is not money.
Oh,
So supply is an abstract concept that the idea is that you have fluff and little bits of this and that stuck in your backpack, and it's your ability to replenish lost gear without having to pay for it, to rig up something on the spot.
For minor stuff like rope.
Yeah,
Right. It doesn't let you conjure up anything you didn't
got
already have with you, but you can kind of. Have you ever seen the TV show MacGyver?
no, but I've heard of it.
Okay.
Is it a survival show?
Yeah, I guess that's a fair.
It's a guy who
assessment.
can do absolutely anything if you give him a paperclip.
With a paperclip and a piece of gum, you bet.
And a rubber band.
And a rubber band, yeah.
Yeah.
So supply allows you. The idea is that it allows you to get more out of your equipment without having to go to a merchant and replace it.
Okay, and how much of that would you recommend having?
As much as you can feasibly carry with you.
Okay.
But you
That
can only
said,
carry up to your
to your load capacity. Right. Supply
Is there
has
a lot?
weight. If you have a bunch of supply, if your inventory is full, basically, if you run out of load space, you can't carry anything else with you without like a hireling or horse or a cart or something.
Speaking of, we need a cart.
So whether or not you want to use up as much
Weren't we
supply as you
using the
can
horse and
or
managers for a
not
cart?
is up to you.
Okay, and does gold have a load?
Gold does have a load, yes.
We have not talked about that.
How
We
much?
do all have gold now.
Sorry about that. I just whipped my headphone cable out of my speakers.
E.
Why, that's why the Rogue has that feature, +4 load.
Right, that's the idea, is a rogue can kind of double down and sort their pockets better.
So we didn't explain the mechanics of this crown thing. Now,
No, we didn't. Did you want me to do that?
basically, does it summon goblins, or does it basically mean that they do what I want? If I
It does
come across
not
them?
summon goblins unless you're in a goblin environment, place where they are
Right.
easy to
Okay.
find.
It's okay. I was about to say I'll just summon a bunch of goblins here and they can carry our stuff.
But
They're
once
powered.
you have them, yes, they'll do whatever you say, without question, up to including risking their own life.
Nice.
500 coin to a load.
And no, that doesn't work on me.
Well, no,
Oh,
you're a
yeah.
hobgoblin, completely different.
No, I believe he's a sub-race of goblin. If
Bap,
you've
bap,
ever,
bap, bap, bap.
if you've ever
That's
watched
that other
Goblin
game.
Slayer, right?
That's
Look, it only works. It only works on the little stupid goblins.
That's that other game.
Hey, to me,
RTN.
hobgoblins might be little.
500
Hey,
gold.
something dropped out.
No worries. Can you hear us now?
Oh, yeah, perfectly.
500 gold to a load.
Oh, that's a lot of gold.
It is, yeah. I players at another table just came into 4,000 gold each and could not move. They needed to go find cards and come back for it. It was a whole thing. It was fun. So your crown does not work on boss.
That's not fair. I don't like that. It would have been really handy if it did, because, you know, there's a goblin right here.
You there, shine my claws for me. Wipe my bum. Right. Have you ever seen the TV show Psychoville?
No.
The little one-off. It's like 2 seasons. It's a cohesive story. It's not like it canceled or anything. It looks like a horror show up front, but it's really not. It's campy as hell and a lot of fun. And one of the characters in it is like a really old guy from a home, and that's all he's got left in his mind. It's all he ever says in 2 seasons of TV. Wipe my bum, and he's hilarious. He says it with such diction and emotion across the show that you know what he's trying to say. It's really impressive stuff.
Hodor?
Kind of like that.
Hodor.
Yeah. Wipe my bum can apparently mean I'm afraid, I'm tired, kill that guy, actually wipe my bum. Right? It can mean lots of things depending on the context and how you say it.
It could mean I'm scared because you need to wipe your butt if you wet your pants.
Right.
Like we actually would use that phrase if we were talking about wiping your ass.
Right.
And I've never heard of it used any other way.
And my favorite,
I've also never heard it any other way.
My favorite, he's chasing a small child with a spatula with big angry eyes. He goes, wipe my bum. It's hilarious.
Psychoville.
So here you are at the base of this crowd of people. I mean, they let you through and everything. They just kind of stay behind you and follow you like groupies.
What are we doing with the coins? Did we decide?
Oh, I don't know.
If we were divided 7 ways, it would be 8 gold, and then there would be another 3 gold left.
I would say we should go to Hermes.
I'm not gonna stop you.
I think we could all have 8.57 gold.
I think at least 6 gold of it needs to go to the support of the Temple of the Tinker back in the town back home.
Kind of collection.
Well, we can't get it there because we don't know how to get there. So maybe we just.
You are welcome to donate 6 gold of your share.
So he gets himself a little side bag, and that's just the tinker tax, you know.
Well, I'll leave this for now. We'll talk about this further.
And by talk, he means I'm gonna mind control spell and make you do it. So, you guys head back to the inn. Is that the idea?
That was the plan.
Okay. The innkeeper meets you there. As you guys get closer to the inn, the people start to flake off and go back to their everyday lives. As they can't like get you to stop and hang out with them, so they kind of give up. And as you get closer to the inn, people like stay away from it. And there's a definite moment where you get close enough to it, and they just stop following you, like dead stop. They go back to their lives.
Uh-oh.
And when you get inside, the innkeeper raises one eyebrow and goes, "So, how'd it go?"
Yeah. No biggie.
Good enough.
Did you say that in character?
Yep.
Okay, and he raises his other eyebrow while lowering the first one and goes, "Gargoyle creature, no biggie. You're dangerous. This is good."
You got food now?
Oh, definitely. And he calls for a bar staff to come out, and they bring you this big, giant, like it's cartoonish, really. They need 2 hands covered in lumps of meat and cheese. And he goes, I thought the owlbear might be hungry when you guys came back, and I had this prepared. And he just drops it, the whole plate and everything on the floor. There's no utensils or anything. He just drops it on the ground.
You good friend, me like you.
And he goes, find the dwarf, did you?
We
Yep.
find the wrong guy.
Say again?
We find the wrong guy.
What do you mean you found the wrong
No, we
guy?
didn't. We found the
You asked
right.
me to tell you what the dwarf was. I
No.
did.
Yeah, we need Alistair.
We got the.
You showed us John. Maybe it's the Hermes diction. You didn't understood, but we need
Right, he's an owl bear. He no talks so good, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, Alistair, what do you want with Alistair? He's a friend of mine.
He was
Yeah.
controlling John. John wasn't real.
Ridiculous. John
was real. John was just taking orders.
John's
No,
traveled through
he
here
melted
for
away
what?
Didn't he
after
turn
we
into
killed
a
him.
smaller little doll thingamajig?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was a
but he
golem.
doesn't know that.
Oh.
John,
Ridiculous. Alistair doesn't have any magic powers. What are you talking about?
John turned into doll when dead.
Oh, right.
Just take it.
Alistair snaps his attention to you and goes, maybe you need to slow down on the food, and pets you on the head a little bit. Chew
No,
first.
he's telling the
Wait.
truth.
What did you just call him?
He didn't call you anything. He said you need to,
No,
maybe you
I'm
should
not
chew
talking.
first.
No, not
I heard
me.
that too.
You said a certain someone said that I should slow down on the food. Have you named our barkeep finally?
I actually don't think I did.
I thought you did name him.
I
Did
thought
I?
I
No. You just said Alistair patted me on the head.
Yes, not the same guy. My apologies.
Oh, okay.
Before I go
thought
throwing
that-
you up, no, he's not Alistair.
That's okay. That's what I
Alice-
wanted to get at.
I see. What was that, Jit? Did you tell me I named him?
I heard
I
the
said I
same
thought you
thing
had named
that Hermes heard.
Yeah, no, not Alistair. Slip of the tongue, my bad. Actually, slip of the tongue is the wrong phrase because slip of the tongues are usually true. So, wrong phrase. Though I suppose I could give you the barkeep's name. I do have it. I just keep forgetting to tell you. So he goes, Alistair's not. No, what? No, the dwarf lied to you. John's a troublemaker and a pain in the butt.
John's the thing.
Did you
Oh, wait,
hold up the little
the priest
effigy?
The priest has the effigy, right?
There were
Oh,
two
no,
effigies.
Jit has the effigy. Jit,
Yes. No,
Let's
I'm
hear it.
not Jet. What do you?
I don't have it.
I thought you had it. You're the
No.
wizard, right?
There were
I don't
two
think anyone
effigies.
took this one.
I
Oh.
got the one from the gargoyle.
Oh, I thought you had both effigies.
No,
I had one from the gargoyle, but it was I took it apart and I found a lead piece in it.
and I
Okay,
have
so who has the effigy for the dwarf?
I don't think we
I don't
took
think
it.
anybody took it.
Yeah, I don't think
anyone
you
took
guys
it.
have it.
Oh, all right, then I don't bring it up. I thought somebody had it, like, was carrying it around.
I never heard that there was one, or I would have picked it up.
You might have plugged out during that period of time. Yeah, John disintegrated into an effigy like the gargoyle did.
Okay, so do we want to say Jit grabbed it then if
I'm
he
all
just
for it.
it was mentioned?
I'm all for
Okay, there you go.
that.
All right, then I slam it down on the bar.
All angry like.
No, I can I have a beer?
I see. And he does the eyebrow raise again and looks at the doll and he goes, well, it's not money, but if you guys took care of John, let's call it even, and drinks him up and he puts him on the counter for you. And he picks up the little doll and goes, what is this?
It's John.
Alistair's.
He
We
looks
want
down and
return
goes,
to him.
No. See, this is a simulacrum doll. Those require great arcane magics to use. Alistair has no magic power. Surely if he did, he would be way more useful.
I think he's got some secrets he's not telling you.
Can we speak him? I have joke.
I got a funny one I want to share with. Kiddies, gather around. Uncle Hermes got a dirty little joke to tell you, right? He goes,
I have joke for Alistair.
Alistair's traveling in the jungle right now. He'll be back in a couple of months if you want to wait. But I mean, I get the impression that you guys are do it now kind of people. You could go
I
to
like
him.
adventures. Let's go to a jungle.
Like, let's go to him.
We've covered city. We've covered Underdark. We've covered desert. Jungle next.
Jungles have dinosaurs occasionally.
Is that
Some
you
games
saying
have
you want
dinosaurs.
Horsamanders.
I could maybe get a mount.
Right, Horsamanders the size of men, right?
Look, if we're gonna go anywhere, I want to make sure that our horsemanders have saddlebags to carry stuff.
That's a good idea.
Or cart.
A cart's also a good idea. There's something
We,
you don't
we
see
can't
every
take a
day.
cart into the jungle. If we're going into the jungle, we'll have to carry be a little lighter.
Yeah, saddlebags
horse-
for the horsamanders would be a good idea. They would probably like it a little better because jungles tend to be moist.
A Horsamander-driven cart. Yeah, but see, this time it's predicted moist, not accidental moist.
It's a very moist place.
Ugh.
But it's a moist you can't get away from.
Yeah, there's that, right. It's going to get in your shoes. It's going to get in your ears.
In your fanny.
You're right. You have to take off your pants and wring them out like a sponge, right?
Ugh.
Oh.
Nice.
So,
Did I miss anything?
just our discussion about predicted moist. No, I don't think you missed
And where are we
anything.
thinking about going next?
The
He goes-
jungle.
Because Alistair's in the treetop city in the jungle, but he'll be back in a couple of months. But I feel like you guys want to do stuff now. So I mean, you could go to him, or you could stay here and help me and the rat catchers out on a couple of other errands. You seem to be real effective already.
What is the
Help you
business,
with what?
what is Alistair's business in the treetop city?
He's checking on some book, some plant you can only find in the. I don't know. He's a nutcase. He's always yammering on about alchemy this and knowledge that. Who cares about what you might know? I only care about what you do know. The now,
Maybe
you know?
this is the plant that John was using.
Does
The
your
plant?
friend Alistair have a
Said
laboratory?
something about a plant. Alistair was going on about a plant.
Oh, yeah. Something about a will-altering plant. He's out of his mind.
Yeah, that's what John was using on a whole town.
That's why we're here.
Huh.
Hey, treetop sound fun. Let's go treetop.
Okay, Hermes, we gotta supply up before we go.
How long does it take to get to this place?
And he goes, he motions outside through the wall, right? He goes, you're going to take your salad thingies with you?
Yeah.
Of course.
Then a week or two on foot. But I thought you guys might want to leave at some point, which is a shame. I was kind of hoping you'd stay here and, one of us, right? But, and he picks up these what looks like a bucket with a sealed lid on top. And he goes, took the liberty of preparing some of that mud stuff from outside. Slather this on your little beasties as you cross the desert, and they shouldn't get too icky on the way there.
I was hoping you'd say that. I was getting ready to ask.
Hermes wants a mud bath,
Not for Hermes.
Why not?
Yeah, right. And he goes, I don't want to leave you guys empty-handed, though. You did get rid of John. Don't get me wrong. I like the guy, but he was more trouble than he's worth. Would this be okay? And he hands you each a voucher with like a check, like
A voucher?
right. And he goes, "These are
An IOU.
pretty much." He goes,
couponing?
"These are worth 100 gold in the capital city." When you go there, I have a feeling your travels will take you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The voucher also doubles as a gate pass. You'll find that getting into the capital city is very difficult without one. You
good.
show these vouchers and they'll let you in without any questions whatsoever.
However, that means that we can't cash it, right?
Well, you won't be able to get inside anyway.
No, but once we cash it, we would no longer have a gate pass.
There is that. That's all. But all the vouchers to the city work like that. They all have some. The idea is that it's entrance and a reason. Once you accomplish that reason, unless you come up with a new reason, you don't get to stay. The capital city's real fussy and protectory, and we don't have any business there. But doesn't mean I don't occasionally make business there.
Gotcha.
What is the capital city called?
Oh, you knew you were going to ask. I have it written down somewhere. Hold
I
on.
had a feeling that you didn't have a name ready because
I
it was
actually
called
do.
The capital city.
I actually do. It's on the page. Hold on.
I've made a map for my homebrew campaign the other day. I literally just threw a load of dice on a piece of paper and drew around them.
I've done that. That's fun.
It turned into a nice little map.
Shimmer. Sorry, I knew I had it written down on here somewhere.
Shimmer City.
Shimmer City. It's a relatively non-violent, and by relatively, I mean absolutely non-violent place.
I wonder why.
That's suspicious.
Can you bring your weapons in?
Absolutely not. They'll check them at the gate.
I think by not absolutely non-violent place, I think they mean police state.
I feel like we need to go to this place and stop it being so peaceful.
This is what you did in the first place.
I'm good at that.
I think before we go, we should investigate this guy Alistair's pad. See if we can find a laboratory of sorts.
If you want to get to Alistair's house,
Well,
yeah, all right.
I'm not saying that to the innkeeper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we won't know without asking the innkeeper.
Yeah, I don't trust this guy. He's his friend, right?
We don't know how
Yeah,
he's looking.
he's far too friendly, isn't he? Far too
You
naive
paranoid
and
nut.
friendly.
He's deadly with a knife.
Yeah, he's that deadly, and he's really
So,
friendly.
Nathan,
Killed
last
a guy in
game,
the pub just for arguing.
Yeah.
the guys come into the pub. They see the barkeep behind the counter. Two guys are arguing over cards over in the corner. One guy stands up. He's going to flip the table. He accuses the other guy of cheating. Innkeep, while talking to the group, pulls a knife out of his belt, hurls it through the air without looking at the guy, hits him in the neck. He dies. He goes, hold on 1 second. He doesn't break eye
Just
contact.
dumps him out the window.
Goes over to get the dead guy, pulls his knife out, puts it in his belt, and flips him out the window. And he goes, hey, sorry about that. And they just kept talking.
Okay.
And this is the inn that we stayed at last night.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yeah, we stayed with our backs
Looking
against
at the
the wall.
time.
Right, but not without stress, right?
Yeah.
We are just about out of time. Unfortunately, I don't have a cliffhanger to leave you with this time. Aside
That's okay. It means I'm not
Yeah,
itching
well,
to get to it.
We want to
We
hold on to
could
that
read.
idea.
We
Search
need
and
bread.
We could always, like, someone could have, like, punch the tavern keep or something like that and just keep it spicy. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm always partial to player choice. You guys have, two options, three immediate
I was
options.
joking. I don't agree with that. I really don't.
You could try and find a way back to the Metal City. You could go off to the jungle of death. I mean, the wonderful jungle of unicorns and puppies. Or you could stay here and help the rat catchers with whatever their errands are.
I vote for the
think we should
jungle
stay
and
here for the
perhaps
night.
a laboratory search before we go.
Yeah,
Lavatory or laboratory?
And do
Can it
that.
be
This
both?
guy deals with plants, right?
I
Yeah.
agree with Jet.
I should definitely go on that laboratory search because I deal with plants. I can talk
Yeah.
to nature.
If you guys want to rest at the inn, IKL had a great idea because some of you were badly wounded.
Yeah, I need
And
healing.
Oh, yeah, some of
those
you are badly
gems until
wounded.
We absolutely need them.
Well, we
And-
could spend the night in this tavern again.
Yep.
You
How
could
much do
also
we
spend
spend
it in the
overnight?
building. You blew a hole in. I mean, you didn't blow a hole in the side of it, did you?
It's not our fault. The
Right, we didn't
gargoyle
do that
adjacent
one.
Are we
creature
going to
did
level
it.
up again? By the way, we've been at level 3 for now 3 weeks.
Have we? Did you guys?
Yes.
level? Oh, I'm
This
sorry.
is the third session at level 3.
Yeah, by all means,
Yeah.
please be level 4. Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, really?
yeah,
Otherwise,
please.
it'll be the
I
third
won't
week
fight you
without
on
leveling
that.
up.
That is a great idea.
Hooray.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm already done.
What do we do for level 4?
You get some hit points,
Yeah,
and
not much.
and some numbers go up.
Ability.
So you
One
roll your
ability.
hit point die and add that to your new number. So you
Is it,
take your current hit points and you roll your respective hit point die and add your con mod.
I think so. You add your con modifier. I think my hit die is a D10
What are you, a warrior?
warrior.
D10 plus your con mod, right?
D10. Oh, and I got a 10.
Nice.
Wow,
Nice.
A 0.
Hold on.
A
What do I
0.
do
Is
now?
a 0 a 10?
What do we do?
Yes.
On a D10, yes. Ikale, you're a zealot.
Druid.
Right, zealot druid. You roll a D8 and add your con mod to that number.
D8 add con mod. 8.
I am
-1, so
rocked
9
with
or 7.
Constitution
Sorry.
Horse for
So you
a-
add
for
7 to your hit point. Your maximum hit point total at this moment is now whatever it was plus 7 more.
Okay.
And you pick one ability score, one of your 6 stats, to add 1 to. What was that, Jit?
Oh, nothing important.